my dear ALPNs and Gandalers. Firstly, apologies from my team and me that we actually had started late. We were actually trying to do the best for you and hence we got delayed. But I promise you, now that you are here, you will enjoy the session and you will actually make a lot of value out of the next 1.5 to 2 hours that we're going to spend with you. And I'm very happy. A lot of ALPNs and Gandalers have already said that the paper has come very easy. They have attempted almost the entire paper, etc. All the faculty here have come together, they've solved the paper, they have identified a lot of things that we want to share with you. And by the end of this session, I think you will be a lot more richer with respect to your understanding of today's CLAT 24 paper and the cutoffs for the same. So without much delay, what I'll do is I'll be introducing our first impressions of the paper. Then each of our subject faculty, senior faculty from ALP will come and kind of unravel the mysteries of their section. And then finally, I'll again wrap it up with cutoffs that I believe are going to be for the top 5,000 ranks, as well as cutoffs for various NLUs. So look forward to that. That's something that I always take pride in, because the general sense in Abhyaas is when a researcher puts together a cutoff, that's always on dot. Okay, I strive to make it very successful. So without much delay, let's go ahead. Okay, so what we will actually do today is, like I said, this thing we already know. We know that this is a 120 question paper, 120 minutes paper, 0.25 negative, 10 paper format. No big major disruptions anywhere across the country, so not much to discuss. But what I want to actually spend time with you is the first impressions that have come from various things that have come, that I believe what are our first observations with respect to the paper today. First thing that we've always told, right, from the boot camp to all the premier club sessions to your class also. You have to remember, when CLAT committee, NLU consortium has actually brought down the number of questions from 150 to 120. We have done a special session where Sai Krishna sir would have done a video where he would have said it would mean two things. Either the number of questions per passage will remain same and the number of passages will come down, or the passages will remain same but the questions per passage will come down. Interestingly, what we have found was the number of passages have actually come down. When it was a 150 question paper, the passages were around 25 plus. Today, the number of passages is around 20 for the new paper. That means definitely the time taken for you is much lesser than that. That is a huge advantage, and attempts and accuracy should go up. I'll discuss that a little more in the next slide. The next thing that you will have to see here is one interesting thing that we've observed. As Abhyaas is an organization, we kind of train students for various competitive exams apart from CLAT. We were very thrilled to see a new format, new type of passage that has come in logical reasoning, that is called decision-making kind of format. That is usually found in XAT, MBA kind of entrance exams. And at Abhyaas LawPrep, we always have something called landmine test that we do for the toppers, so that they can get used to a lot of these surprises kind of from other entrance exams across India. Right? Then GK passages for the first time. Generally, this is something that we at Abhyaas LawPrep say, and most coaching centers also say, that GK is one area, one section in CLAT you really need not to read the passage. But the faculty have found that this is the first time where we have found there are answers for some questions hidden within the passage. I'm sure students found it as a pleasant surprise too, but that's something that we need to be wary of. And the last thing, quantitative techniques session, which is the kind of, the elephant in the room for most of you. I'm sure you would have found it like a breeze, a cool breeze, because it has come much simpler, much more easier than the actual sample tests that have been made. Let me now go to one first cutoff. This is something that very uniquely we made at Abhyaas LawPrep, but I want you to have a look at it. What we are trying to tell you is, we say last 3 years, 2022, 23 and 24, we are kind of saying what is the difficulty level, accordingly what should be attempts and accuracy be. Based on the number of questions, lengthiness, toughness of each section, etc. Overall, we are rating 2022 and 23 papers are probably around 3.5 out of 5 on a scale of 3.5. If I have to rate the exam level difficulty, we'll say 2022 and 2023 paper is at a difficulty level of 3.5 out of 5, right? Whereas this year's paper on the first cut, I'm saying on the first cut again, is around 2.5 out of 5. That means the difficulty level has considerably come down. Now, what does it mean for you, right? It means this, we have put together this thing. Initial, again, I'm telling you, I'm going to come to cutoffs with you specifically. So before that, first thing that you have to understand is, All India ranked top 100. We have seen typically people who get the top 100 ranks across the country. In the last few years, we have seen the attempts in the brackets. Look at the brackets carefully. They generally have to have 90% attempts with a 80% accuracy. They would go into the top 100 in the country, typically, on average. Similarly, if you have to be in the top 500 in the country, right? Top 100 means you probably get into NLSU Bangalore, Nalsar. Top 500 means you get into the top 5-6 NLS, right? Top 500 means 80% accuracy and 80% attempts. We say 80-80, Pareto 80 principle at Abhyaas LawPrep. I always say this. 80-80 would mean you're in the top 500 and you would have made it to top 5-6 NLS. But this time, 20 passages, as discussed in the earlier slide, number of questions have come down, you know that. Because of all that, I believe attempts have to increase by almost 10% and accuracy has to go up by 5% for the similar kind of situation. And I'm going to come up with exact score a little while later. But broadly, we are saying if you have to be the top 100 in the country in this CLAT 2024, I think you should be attempting almost all the questions because most of the students we have seen, good students, most of the good students have attempted almost all questions. And then you have to be close to 90% accuracy is what we're expecting if you have to be the top 100. Okay. And similarly, those who are trying to get into top 500 ranks, your attempt should be 90% and with an accuracy of around 85%. So this is something that I want to give you as a first cut. First cut, I know it might look a little, difficult. I don't know. It might. A lot of students are thinking cutoffs will go up. Absolutely, that's what your analysis is also saying. But hang on, wait for me. I'll come back to you in the next hour or so with specific numbers, specific marks, specific cutoffs. Till then, I kind of hand it over to your subject-wise faculty who will actually explain the solutions, key, etc. And then I'll get back to you. I'm going to talk to you about your cutoffs, rank-wise cutoffs, and NLU-wise cutoffs. Looking forward to see you again in an hour. Over to you, Krishna.
Hello everyone. So now I'm going to discuss about the current affairs. So this is Sai Krishna, current affairs faculty of Abhyaas LawPrep. So now we are going to discuss the detailed analysis of CLAT 2024 current affairs questions. Let's look into the discussion. So this is the current affairs section. First, I want to convey you that this time we have 5 current affairs passages and 4 passages have 6 questions and 1 passage has 4 questions. So totally we have 28 questions under current affairs section, and most important thing is that we have 23 easy questions out of 28 and just 2 difficult questions and 3 moderate questions. So overall we have 28 questions. Comparatively, the current affairs section is very easy, and as our narrator said that you can find many of the answers from the passage itself. Even if you don't know the issue, you can attempt all the 28 questions with 90% accuracy by simply reading the passage. Just at 2 to 3 questions, you need to know the extra knowledge which is not present in the particular passage. So let's start our discussion with the very first passage from the start set. The first passage is about Jallianwala Bagh massacre. The first passage is about Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So by reading the passage itself, you can see it is about General Dyer and it is about Jallianwala Bagh, which is given in the passage itself. Jallianwala Bagh. So let us look into the questions, whether we can able to write it or not. So the first question, which incident is described in the passage? As we can see that it is directly given in the passage. It is talking about Jallianwala Bagh. So we can easily attempt the first. One, Jallianwala Bagh, option B, and the next one. Why did General Dyer order to fire on the crowd? So for this question you may not find answer directly from the passage, but if you can able to do the logical thinking as you were doing in the critical reasoning part, you can easily find out the answer. Let's look into the options. The first option, to bring the crowd under control. This is the first option. Why did General Dyer order to fire on the crowd? Why he has to start a firing? To bring the crowd under control. If you look into the passage, if you read the passage, it is a peaceful gathering. So the crowd is under control only. So if you want to control the crowd, first they have to do the nonsense. But it is a peaceful gathering, a peaceful meeting. So option A is eliminated. To scatter the crowd. So the crowd simply sitting and listening to the meeting, and there is only one gate, so which is closed. If the reason the if the general dyer want to scatter the crowd, they need to open the gates, but they have closed the gates. That means option B is also wrong. Next, coming to option C, to teach the crowd a lesson. So if you look into the passage, here clearly mentioned that they don't want people to gather, arrange for meeting. So they don't want any sort of gatherings. So people have violated the orders of General Dyer. So General Dyer came to the place, he closed all the doors, he started firing. So it is to teach the crowd a lesson what happens if you violate the orders of British Raj. So the option is C. C is the right option. Next, after the incident, who helped the injured and the dying people? So General Dyer opened a firing. Then who helped the people who have taken the shots and who got injured? And you have answered directly from the passage. If you look into the last second one, those who lived nearby came and carried away some of the wounded from the heap of dead and dying. So, from the passage itself, you have the answer. If you don't know the issue, you have the answer from the passage itself. So, the people who are staying nearby, they came and they have taken the injured people to the hospitals for a treatment. Next. Next question. After the incident, who helped? We have completed. The answer is D for this. And after that, what would be the feelings of Indian children? What would be the feelings of Indian children brought up to the spot? So, as we know, it's a crowd who gathered there are parents, elders, as well as children. So, what would they feel who are present in the spot? So, their answer would be, see, friendliness to British rule is the answer, because the General Dyer opened a firing, they started killing them. So it cannot be the answer. Bitterness about the British rule, it can be the answer, because British rule, when they are continuing a peaceful gathering, British Raj opened a firing. So they are killing them, they are injuring them. It can be some sort of negative opinion. Option C, a sense of helplessness. Thing is, they have closed the doors. The only one entry or exit for the entire Jallianwala Bagh. They have closed everything, so they cannot escape from firing. So this would be the answer. A logical conclusion for this is a sense of helplessness. Next, what was the full name of General Dyer? This is the most difficult one, because we generally we don't focus on the full names of the persons who are not in news. This is not taken from a news. It is basically a history passage, so it is not in news. So for this, the factual answer, it is the Reginald Edward Harry Dyer. It's a full name of General Dyer. So this is about first passage. And coming to second passage, it is from the news. It is about Israel-Palestine issue. It is about Israel-Palestine issue. In our Abhyaas LawPrep, we have discussed this particular passage in detail, and all these questions have been repeated in our Abhyaas mock test and our classroom discussions. Not even single question is out of our mock test. So all these questions are from our mock test. Let's see whether we can find answers for this in this particular passage or not. So even if you don't know the issue, you can able to attempt most of the answers by simply looking into the passage. Let's discuss. First question, 31st one. What was the reason for Hamas-led Palestinian militants attack on Israel? So the reason for Hamas attacking on Israel. If you don't know the answer, simply read the passage. You have the answer in the passage. If you look into this, see, here is the answer. Hamas declared that the invasion was carried out in response to desecration of Al-Aqsa Mosque, the Gaza Strip blockade, the construction of Israeli settlements, Israeli settlers' violence against the Palestinians in the West Bank. These are the reasons why Hamas attacked Israel. Now, let us come to the answer whether we have these reasons or not. The first reason, the first option, to retaliate against Israeli settler violence against Palestine. this can be the logical answer because we have directly mentioned of this Israeli settler violent against Palestinians. Let's look into the other options. In response to the desecration of Western Wall, so it is about desecration of Al-Aqsa Mosque, not Western Wall. So option B cannot be the answer. Option C, to protest against the construction of Palestinian settlements. It is against the construction of Israeli settlements, not Palestinian settlements, because the attackers themselves are Hamas, who are sympathizers of Palestinians. Next, to seek an end to Gaza Strip blockade. There might be a confusion among A and D. So some people may say A is the right answer, some people may say D is the right answer. But let's decode it. Let's look at the logical conclusion of this. Here, nowhere they have said to end the Gaza blockade. So they did not mention about that. They simply, it is a retaliation to the Gaza Strip blockade. So it is a retaliation, not to end. So the exact answer to this particular question would be A. And what was the reaction of international community to the killing of Israeli civilians? How did international community reacted? Directly, these answers taken from the passage itself. Let us look into the passage. At least 44 countries, mostly from the Western world, characterize the massacres of civilians as terrorism. So the number has given directly in the passage itself. So condemned as a terrorism by 44 countries. Next, which of the following is not true about the historical context of Israel-Hamas conflict? You need to observe the question carefully. It is talking about which is not true, which is a false statement. If you carefully look into the option, the Palestinian refugees started settling under Ottoman rule in the late 19th century. That is the keyword here. It is in the late 14th century, 19th centuries and 1800s only. But it is about Ottoman Empire, which is 14th century. So this is not true. This is the false statements. Direct observation. What has been the response of the Israeli military to the Hamas-led attack? So how did Israel reacted to this? Now, declared a state of war and launched a ground invasion. So after Hamas attacked Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu has given a direct statement that Israel is in a state of war. We are going to an invasion. This is a direct statement taken from the news. So even if you read all these things, this is the possible thing. Let us look into the next options why they are not true. So conducted an aerial bombardment campaign only. So did Israel conducted only aerial bombardment? So only is the wrong one. Asked for international intervention. Israel never asked for international intervention because UNO comes and they will say two-state policy, but here Israel don't want these two states. So option C is also wrong. Captured and imprisoned the militants responsible. Till now, Israel did not found out the responsible person. They have captured the Hamas people, but not the responsible who actually invaded. So option A is a right answer. Next, I think we have missed one question in the earlier passage. So 27. Yeah, we have answered this. Yeah. So 27. I think we have not answered properly. The light of above passage. What was the intention of the speaker? So whoever is giving this. So this belongs to the upper one. Actually, we have missed this question. This one 26. Why did General Dyer order to fire on the crowd? Here to teach a lesson. We have skipped this. And 27. In the light of the above passage, what was the intention of the speaker? So what was the intention of the speaker? So the speaker intention to expose the deeds of General Dyer. So for 27, option B, actually we have missed. We have kept option C for 26, but we have missed to 27. So sorry for that. Next. 35th one. What is the current hostilities known as in the Gaza-Israel conflict? So if you look into the passage itself, there is a mention of a word called fifth war. Here it was directly mentioned here. It is about fifth war. So in the option we have this statement directly. What is the current hostage is known as the Gaza-Israel conflict? It is a fifth war. So option B is the right answer. Coming to 36, which major war does the current Gaza-Israel conflict resemble? So the present war, the present conflict resembles to which war? Again, we have a direct answer from this particular passage. If you read the passage carefully here, you have a mention of the word Yom Kippur War. So directly the answer was given in the passage. It is about Yom Kippur War. So answer for 36 is Yom Kippur War, option A. Coming to the next passage, it is about Chandrayaan 3. That's the surface of the moon. The passage about Chandrayaan 3, which is most important topics which was discussed in our Abhyaas LawPrep classroom discussion mock test, because India has achieved a milestone in reaching the moon and is the fourth country to achieve this milestone. So let us look into the questions carefully. What did India become the fourth country in the world? So in what did India become the fourth country? So we became fourth country in touching the surface of the moon. So is sending a spacecraft to the moon, landing a spacecraft on the moon, landing a man. We did not land it with our own technology till date. So option C is wrong. Sending a spacecraft. Already we have sent Chandrayaan 2. This is not the first time. So landing is the first time. Landing a spacecraft on the moon. So India achieved this. India is the fourth country to do this. And we are the first country to land on the South Pole. But we are the fourth country to land anywhere on the moon. So answer is B for 37. What is the role of Pragyan? So we have sent Vikram and Pragyan. So Vikram is the name of a lander and Pragyan is the name of the rover. So the lander carries the rover and rover will take the photographs. So the role of the Pragyan. If you don't know the answer, let's go back to the passage where it has clearly given. These are statements of our Prime Minister Modi. So I have seen the photo in which our moon lander has finally set its foot on the moon. One hand is the contents of Vikram, while on the other hand is the bravery of Pragyan. Our Pragyan is continuously leaving its footprint on the moon. The pictures taken from different cameras. This is the keyword. The pictures taken from different cameras is a keyword. You might be thinking that footprints, because we have two options here. To move around the moon, leaving footprints, to take photographs of the moon while moving. So there's a confusion among these two statements, whether A or B. See, what is the role of Pragyan? Why we have sent Pragyan there? To collect some samples, to identify the images, everything. The role of the actual objective of Pragyan is to move around the surface on the moon and to collect some photographs to show the world. By analyzing that data, we can know some answers, whether what is the temperature on the moon, what is the temperature difference in the upper surface and lower surface, like that. So the actual objective of the Pragyan is to take photographs of the moon while moving. It is not to show, because to show these pictures, we require the satellite also, orbiter. So that is the orbiter will send us. So the actual purpose of this Pragyan is to take the photographs while moving on the surface. Next, 39. Name one institution that played a major role. So this is a very easiest question as this. So to send any satellite onto any planet, we have only ISRO from India. So this is a direct question. What is the name of the moon lander and the rover? Again, there is a confusion. See, through Chandrayaan 2, we have sent Pragyan and Vikram, but we were unable to make it success. We have placed orbiter successfully, but our Pragyan and Vikram was a failure for Chandrayaan 2. The same names we have sent Pragyan and Vikram onto the moon with Chandrayaan 3. The names did not change. The confusion. So for 40, answer is Vikram and Pragyan. Pragyan 2 is wrong one, because we did not change the name. We have kept the same name. So Vikram and Pragyan. Next. Whom did the Prime Minister address this to? So whatever the passage we have seen, to whom the Prime Minister is addressing, whether it is the people of India or to the world or to the students or to the scientists of ISRO. So if it is to address the scientists of ISRO, it need not be a public meeting, but it is to show the world that we have achieved. So the people of India, it is telling that the people that we have achieved this event. So for 41, option A, to the people of India. Next, for 42, which of the foreign countries in the world had touched? So as we say, India is the fourth country to step on the moon. What are the other three countries? Again, there is a confusion among two options. USA, USSR, sorry, it's USSR, China and India. USA, Russia, China and India. So whether it is USSR or Russia, the one important thing we need to know is the first one to send moon is USSR, Soviet Union, not Russia. So our answer should be USSR. So option A is the right answer. Next, passage 4. It is about G20 summit, which was recently held in India, and we were the hosting countries. India got the presidency for this year G20. Next year, we have handed over the presidency to the Brazil. So the host country for 2024 is Brazil. Coming to the questions, 43. The G20 is a forum for international economic cooperation. Select the correct option. So option A, G20 is a forum for international economic cooperation, international peace and security, international cooperation for combating money laundering, all the above. Directly you can say it is not all the above, because it is not for combating money laundering, because we have FATF for that. It is not for peace and security, we have UNSC for that. The only possible option is Forum for International Economic Cooperation. So G20 started as a response to the financial crisis. So we have the body got expanded. So this is the right answer. Next, the G20 summit is hosted by incumbent presidency. The G20 presidency is responsible for bringing together the G20 agenda in consultation with other members and response to developments in the global economy. Which country will hold the presidency in 2024? So as I said, our Prime Minister has handed the presidency to the Brazil to host the G20 next year. So Brazil is the right option for this. Next, 45. Which one of the following countries is not a member of G20? So the right answer for this is Egypt. It's a direct factual question. We need to remember all the countries of G20, 19 individual countries plus one European Union. So here the answer is Egypt. Egypt is not a member of this G20. Next, 46. At every G20 summit, the host country invites countries and institutions. So which are the countries invited present G20? So which India invited which countries? So you need to remember the countries which were invited by India. This is the most difficult question of this particular entire current affairs topics of this CLAT 2024, because we need to remember all the G20 countries as well as the invitee countries. So the right option here is 46. It is C. Bangladesh, Singapore, Spain, Netherlands. These are the 4 countries which are invited. Some other countries also invited, but in our options, we need to know all the countries must be right. So option C is the right option. And final passage, it is about our constitution. It is about our constitution. What is the life of contradictions referred to in this particular passage? So if you see, it is directly given in the particular passage in the first line itself. We are going to enter the life of contradiction. In politics, we will have equality, and in social and economic structure, continue to deny the principle of one man, one value. That means here the life of contradictions. The life of contradictions means everyone have equal political power. Anyone can contest, anyone can vote, everyone is equal. But what is different, what is not equal? Our social structure. We have different religions, different castes. So our social structure is not same. Our economic life, we have rich people, middle class people, poor people. So economic is not same. So only thing which is same is political life, and which is not equal is social and economic life. So we can directly conclude from this. The option is for 47, it is A. The life of contradiction refers to the equality in politics but inequality in social and economic structure. Next, what will happen according to Dr. Ambedkar if we continue to deny equality in our social and economic life? So what happens if we continue to deny equality in social and economic life? So the answer is our political democracy is in danger. So for this, we have no direct answer from the particular passage, but if we deny equality in our social and economic life, what would happen? There would be no injustice. It's wrong, because if we deny equal rights for social and economic life, there would be injustice. So option A is wrong. Equality in social life, equality in social and economic life will be achieved nevertheless. No meaning for this. For social and economic life will be in peril. So because our political democracy will be in danger, you might be having answer from directly from the particular passage. Next, what might be the cause, according to Dr. Ambedkar, if things go wrong under the new constitution? So, if things go wrong, what would be the reason? So, we need to identify the reason. So, it is a reason-based question. Now, it is right. If it go wrong, what would be the reason? So, the right option for this 49 is that the men called upon to work the constitution were not good, because if you read the passage, in the last two paragraphs you will get answer for this particular thing. Next, so here the answer is option C. What does social democracy mean? So directly it was taken from the passage. If you look into the last paragraph, last lines, have direct answer here. What does social democracy mean? It means a way of life which recognizes liberty, equality, and fraternity as the principles of life. So here it was clearly mentioned, but it was implicit in the options. So which option? If you say social democracy means equality before the law, that is the wrong one, because that's a political democracy. So we need social democracy. So it is the equality in social life. If it is about opportunities, it is economic democracy. If it is about economic life, economic democracy, political democracy. The one thing which is social democracy is social equality in social life. Next, when does a bad constitution turn out to be a good? It was a direct statement taken from the passage. A bad constitution can be turned out to be good when it was done by good people. Directly it was in the passage. See here. A bad constitution it may turn out to be good if those who are called to work it happen to be a good lot. So if a good people writes the constitution, it would become a good constitution. Even if it's a bad, a good people can change it. So direct statement. Next. So the answer is when the people called upon are good. So 51 is A. And 52. Which of the following statement is not correct? Not correct about what Dr. Ambedkar feel about the constitution. So directly we can eliminate the options only. Directly we can eliminate that. So not correct. So whenever it says only, that is a wrong answer basically. So this is the right. So not correct is the right. So if you look into the passage here, the constitution is workable, is flexible, strong enough to hold the country together, both peacetime and wartime. So if you look into the answers here, it is workable, flexible, peacetime and wartime. So only is the wrong one. So that is not a correct statement. So with this, we have completed our current affairs analysis. So out of 28, 23 answers are easy, directly taken from the passage. And 2 are difficult and 3 are moderate. If you know the context, you can easily answer the questions with some sort of logical reasoning. So with this, I am handovering the mic to our next quant faculty, Mr. Durga Prasad sir, to continue. Thank you.
Hello guys, good evening. Welcome to Abhyaas. My name is Durga Prasad. I am your QT faculty. So today the questions which were given in our CLAT exam, let's start solving the questions. So see here, automobiles are the most preferred mode of transport because they allow something they have given. But here the actual data is started from here. During a survey, the percentage-wise distribution of cars in 4 different states, and the total cars are how many? 8,000. And these 8,000 cars are divided into 3 categories, that is diesel engine cars, and next one is petrol engine cars, and electrical cars. And of these, the state 1 had, that is totally 4 states are there here. In the state 1, there are total 15% of total cars, which are in the ratio 3, 4, 1. And state 2 had 20% of total cars, which are in the ratio 5:3:2. And state 3 had 30% of total cars, which are in which ratio? 4:5:3. And state 4 had 35%, and they are in the ratio 7:5:2. First, you need to decode these values. That means total 8,000 cars are there. Total 8,000. So I am writing state 1, state 2, state 3, state. And in every state, there are 3 different types of categories, that is diesel engine cars, and next one petrol engine cars, that is petrol engine cars, and next one is what? Electrical cars. So in the state 1, there are total how much percentage of the cars? 15%. In this 8,000, 10% is 800, 5% is 400. That is totally state 1 has total cars. I told you 10% is 800, 5% is 400. 800 plus 400 is what? 1200. That 1200 is divided in which ratio here? 3:4:1. That is 3 plus 4 plus 1. 3 plus 4 plus 1. 8 parts. 8 parts is 1200. 8 parts is 1200. 1 part is equals to 150. So 3 parts is equals to 450 cars. 4 parts means 4 into 150, 600 cars. And electricals are 1 part only. 1 part is 151. Right? Next one. And state 2 had 20% of cars. 20% of this 8,000. 20% of 8,000, that is 1,600 cars. Out of the 1,600, the ratio of cars is 5:3:2. That is 5 plus 3 plus 2. Total 5 plus 3 plus 2. 10 parts. 10 parts is 1,600. Then 1 part is 160. 160 into 5 parts. 800 cars. These are diesel engine cars. Diesel, petrol, and electric. These are in the order. So there is no need to check every time. So here 3 parts. 3 parts means every part is 160. 3 parts means 3 into 160 is equals to 480. And the next one, 2 parts. 2 into 160. 320. Right? Now we'll come to state 3. In the state 3, there are 30% of cars. 30%. 30% of 8,000. How much it is? 2,400. 30% of 8,000, 2,400. In this 2,400, the ratio is 4:5:3. Total counted 4 plus 5, 9, 9 plus 3 is 12. 12 parts is 2400. One part is 200. Then 4 parts is equals to 800. Every part is 200. So 5 parts. 5 into 200 is 1000. 3 parts. 3 into 200 is 600. Right? So now we'll come to the state 4. State 4, there are total how much percentage of cars? 35%. That is, every 10% is 800. So 30% means 3 into 800, 2400. 5%, 5% is 400. So 2400 plus 400, 2800. That is, state 4 has total how many cars? 2800. If you add the total, it should be equals to 8,000. Clear? Now, this 35% is divided into which ratio? 7:5:2. That is 7 plus 5, 12. 12 plus 2, 14. 14 parts is 2,800. Then one part is 200 only. Then 7 parts. 7 into 200, 1,400. 5 parts. 5 into 200, 1,000. Next, 2 parts. 2 into 200 is 4,000. This is the data which is given to you. You should convert into table so that the calculations will be easy. So let's solve the questions. This is the data we are having. So what they are saying? 45% of the electrical cars in state 4. State 4 electrical cars are how many? 400. In this 400, 45% are air conditioned cars and remaining are non-AC. What is the number of non-AC cars? See, 45% are AC cars in the electric total. In the electric total, 45% are AC. Then 55% are non-AC, right? But we know that electrical cars are 400. So 55% of 400, this is your answer. So percentage, zeros can cancel. 55 into 4. 55 into 4, 220. So for your 109th question, answer is 220. The number of petrol cars, 110th question, the number of petrol cars in state 2. State 2 total petrol cars are how many? State 2 petrol engine cars are 480. This 480 is, this 480 is what percentage more than the number of diesel cars in the state 1? State 1 diesel cars you need to see. State 1 diesel engine cars. State 1 diesel engine cars are how many? 450. So 480 is how much percentage more than 450? These are 450. 480 and 450. Less or more they are asking, right? You should take the difference. Difference is how much value? 30. By you are comparing with 450 into 100. So 3 cancel 15 times. Again 5 cancel 3 times. 5 cancel 20 times. 20 by 3 you will get 6.66. That is around 6.67 you can take. Right? Let's see the next question. What is the ratio of diesel cars in state 4? Diesel cars in state 4 to electrical cars in state 3. This is a direct question, very easy, and previous questions also easy. This entire passage, whatever the questions they are going to ask, that is easy only, not moderate, not tough also. Clear, friends? You can solve all the 6 questions also here if you are giving a 5 to 6 minutes time. So what they are asking in the 111 question? Diesel cars in state 4 and state 3 ratio. Diesel cars in state 4, 1400. This state 4 is 1400. Electrical cars in state 3. Electrical cars, state 3, 600. So 1400 and 600, what is the ratio they are asking? So what is the ratio of 1400 and 600? Zeros get cancelled. 2 cancel how many times? 7 times. 2 cancel 3 times. So the ratio is 7:3. That is option A. Previous option is D. Previous option is C. Clear, guys? Compute the percentage of total electrical cars in the total cars in all the states. Total electrical cars. Total electrical cars. That means electrical cars total you need to find out. This addition is how much you need to find out. So let's see this addition is how much. So 0, 2 plus 5 is 7, 3 plus 1 4, 4 plus 6 10, 10 plus 4 14. So 1470 electrical cars are there. But what they are asking is this 1470 is what percentage of all the cars? That is 1470 out of 1470 out of 8000 you need to calculate. 1470 out of 8000 into 100 percentage. Because they are asking about percentage, right? So zeros get cancelled, 0 get cancelled. 8 how many times cancel in 147? Approximately only you need to do 8 one time. Remainder is how much? 67. In 67 how many times? 8 times. Right? After that, whatever the remainder is there, you have to put a point. So no need to find out exact. Okay, 18 point, some values, 2 values are there. So 3 is the remainder. In 3, if you are putting a point, that will become 30. 30 by 8 means 3 times cancel. 18.3. What is the option? Option B. Clear, guys? So the answer is option B here. So what they are asking next, what is the difference between number of petrol cars in state 3 and diesel cars in state 1? Petrol 3, diesel state 1. Petrol cars state 3, petrol cars state 3, 1000. Diesel cars in state 1, 450. So this difference they are asking, that is 1000 and 450 difference they are asking. That is 1000 and 450 difference they are asking. See this 1000 and 450 difference is how much value? 550. That is option D. That is 113. Answer is option D. Next, what is the average number of diesel cars in all the states? All the states diesel cars you need to find out and you need to take the average. Diesel engine cars are total how many? You need to calculate the total. So 14 plus 8, 22. 22 plus 8, 30. That is 3000. 3450. But total number of states are how many? 4. So average if you want to find out, 3450. We are getting 3450 divided by how much value? 4. So 4 how many times cancel? 4 8s are 32. Remainder is 2. That is in 25. 4 how many times cancel? 6 times. Right? In 1, that is in 10, 2.5 times. So what you are getting is 862.5. So option is B. Don't divide it with 3 because 3 different types of cars are there, but they are not asking about types of cars. The average number of diesel cars in all the states. They are asking about the states. So divided by 4 you need to do. So 3450 divided by 4, 862.5. Right? Let's see the next question. So all the questions are easy in this passage. So all the 6 questions, maximum to maximum, all the questions you can attempt. You can take 6 to 8 minutes so that you can answer all the questions. So here, this question have percentages. Yes, this question has percentages. Let me read this question. A survey was conducted about the population of particular region having working population of 3 lakhs. That means total working population is 3 lakhs. Out of 3 lakhs, there are self-employed persons, casual wage workers, and regular salaries employees. That is 3 different categories are there. And there are 2 different regions are there. In the entire population, there is urban population and rural areas are there. So this 3 lakhs is divided into urban and rural. Right, guys? So next, self-employed is a key source of income in both rural and urban areas. But it is more prevalent in rural areas. That is 56% of rural population. So first I am writing urban and next one is rural. Okay. First we will write rural and next urban. In this total is 3 lakhs. Total is how many lakhs? 3 lakhs. And in this total, 48% population is from which population? Rural population. Rural is 48. Urban is how much value? 52. Okay. And the next one, in this total rural population, there are three different types of categories. One is self-employed persons, self-employed, and the next one is casual wage workers, and regular salaried employees, Okay, so this one, self-employed are 56% of rural population. So this one 56%. And urban areas 40%. This is 40%. Again, regular salaried employees in urban areas is 48% of urban population. Regular salaried employees, that is 48%. Next one, regular salaried workers instituted is 12% of rural population. So this rural is 12%. Okay guys. Next one, during the survey, the wage workers, that is casual wage workers in urban areas and rural areas, they were given. So casual wage workers in rural areas is 32%, rural 32, and urban is 12%. So this is the table we are making. See, if you want to find out this self-employed in rural, what you need to write? Self-employed in rural, if they are asking, then what you need to write? Let me tell you. Self-employed in rural, then what you need to write is 56% of 48% of 3 lakhs you need to write. Clear? So we will solve the questions here. By what percentage of the number of self-employed workers in rural areas is more than the number of self-employed workers in urban areas? Self-employed, they are asking about both self-employed only, right? So self-employed workers in rural areas, rural 56% of 48% of 3 lakhs. 3 lakhs. I am writing 3 lakhs here. So percentage means 2 zeros get cancelled, percentage means 2 zeros get cancelled. Yes sir. That is 144 into 56 or 56 into 144. Yes sir. This is our self-employed rural persons. And here one more thing they are asking, self-employed workers in urban areas, that is 40% of 52% of 3 lakhs. So 40% of 52% of 3 lakhs. Percentage, zeros get cancelled, percentage, zeros get cancelled. Right? 3 fours are 12. 12 into 52. Okay, let me calculate this one. 0, 0. 12 into 52. 12 twos are 54. Sorry, 12 twos are 24. 2 carry. 12 fives are 60 plus 2 is 62. 64 double 0. 624 double 0. And this one, 56 into 144, you need to calculate. And they are asking this 56 into 144 is what percentage of 624 double 0. Or you can do like this. So 56 into 144, right? And here 40 into 52 into 30. Okay. So 4 cancel 36 times, 4 cancel 10 times. 4 cancel again 9 times, 4 cancel 38 times. Any other cancel? Yes, 3 cancel 3 times, 3 cancel 10 times. Now, 2 cancel 28 times, 2 cancel 5 times. Again 2 cancel 14 times, 2 cancel 5 times. Yes sir. Yes. And one more 0 should be there here. Yes, 14 threes are 42. That means 420 is 2. 5 5s are 25 into 13 is 320. Into 10 also. We need to write actually. 5 how many times cancel means 2 times. So here what you will get is, observe this one. Yes, I forgot to write this 0 here. Yes, 14 into 2 into 3. That is 14 6 are 84 is 2. 13 5 are 65. This is more only. How much more? 19 out of 65 into 100. So here 5 cancel 13 times, 5 cancel 20 times. 19 20s 380 by 30. 13 how many times? Not 30 times also, because 13 into 30 is 390, right? Yeah, less than 30 times, so answer is 29.23. Answer is 29.23. So ratio method is better. This is calculator. I can say this is moderate question. Okay? We will see the next question. What is the ratio of urban and rural working population? Urban population and rural working population. Urban population is how much here? 52. Rural working population is how much? 48. This ratio only they are asking. This is very easy one. By seeing the question only you can say the answer. 4 how many times cancel? 13. Here how many times? 12. So ratio is 13 is to 12. That is option C. I think most of you people given the answer as 1, right? Yeah. So check it once. This answer is 13 is to 12. The urban population of region increased from 52% to 56%. Now what they are saying, actually from the passage, they are saying 52% is urban population. But according to this question, the urban population is not 52, it is 56%. Right? And the self-employed persons in urban population remains same. That is, urban population how we will calculate. Urban population self-employed how we will calculate. Urban population self-employed is how much? 40% of 40% of. Urban population is actually now 56%. 56% of 3 lakhs. 3 lakhs. Right guys? So percentage zeros cancel. Again percentage 2 zeros get cancelled. 3 into 4. 12 into 56 into what you need to write? 2 zeros, right? 12 6 are 72. 7 carry. 12 5 is 60 plus 7, 67. So answer is 67200. Right guys? This one is also easy one only. What is the total number of regular salaried employees of the region? Regular salaried employees of the region they are asking. That means 40% of 52% of 3 lakhs. First I am writing 40% of 52% of 3 lakhs plus this is about which one? Urban. What about rural? 56% of 48% of 3 lakhs. 56% of 48% of 3 lakhs. 56% of 48% of 3 lakhs. Yes. So percentage 2 zeros, percentage 2 zeros. Here also percentage 2 zeros, percentage 2 zeros get cancelled. And you can take 30 common. 30 is common. 40 into 52. That is 0. 4 2s are 8. 4 5s are 20. 20 80 plus. 30 already common. 56 into 48 you need to multiply. I'll multiply here. 6 8s are 48. 4 carry. 8 5s are 40 plus 24. 40 plus 24. 64 plus 4, 68. 6 carry. 5 4s are 20 plus 6, 26. 2 6 double 8. 2 6 double 8. So this value, if you are adding 8, you will get 8 plus 8 16. 1 is carry, 1 plus 6 is 7. 2 plus 2 is 4. So this is into 30. So mostly you will get a 912600. Sorry, 91260. I think somewhere once check it. 40% of 52% of 3 lakhs. 56% of 48% of 3 lakhs. Yes, 91260 you will get. What is the percentage of regular salaried employees in rural areas corresponding to the number of casual wage workers in urban areas? So we will see 119. 119. What is the percentage of regular salaried employees? Regular salaried employees. Regular salaried employees. Where is the regular salaried employees? 12%. Regular salaried employees is 12%. Of rural areas they are asking, right? Into 48% into 3 lakhs. This is what percentage of casual wage workers in urban areas? Casual wage workers. Casual wage workers in urban areas. That is 12% again of 52% of 3 lakhs. 12% of 52% of 3 lakhs. 12% of 52% of 3 lakhs. Into 100%. Right? Let's see. 12% get cancelled, 3 lakhs also get cancelled, percentage get cancelled. What you are getting is 48 by 50 to 4 cancelled. 12 times, 13 times. That means what you are getting 12 by 13 into 100. So this is very near to 100, right? You can say 90%. That is more than 90%, 92.3 is the answer. If 60% of total working population of the region were self-employed. That is, self-employed people are how much percentage actually? Self-employed persons are 56%. But what they are saying in this question, 60% of total population of the region were self-employed in rural areas. So rural areas actually how much percentage here? 48% of 3 lakhs. I'll write here 48% of 3 lakhs is rural areas population. In this 60% are self-employed people they are saying. That is 60% of 48% of 3 lakhs. Ratio they are asking, right? Divided by urban population you already know. That is 52% of 3 lakhs. In this 52%, 40% are working as self-employed. So 3 lakhs get cancelled, percentages get cancelled, and what you are having here 20, 3 times, 2 times, 4 cancelled, 4, 12 times, 13 times. 2 how many times cancel? 6. 6 3s are 18 is to 30. So your answer is option D, that is 18 is to 30. Is this clear? So out of these questions, that means totally you are having 12 questions here in quant section. Out of these 12 questions, only 2 questions are moderate, that is calculative questions, and 10 questions are easy questions. So now I am handovering the session to Saji sir. He will take care of about English. So let's see.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sure you all see me. Let me get the assistance from my team as well. In the back end, I have Durga Prasad, I have Naik, and I also have Nikhil. Okay, Nikhil, would you please fix it? I'll take a moment, guys. Okay, I'm sure it's been a lovely session. Okay, it was Sai Krishna sir in the beginning. with GK, followed by Durga Prasad sir for quant, and in a couple of minutes, I am Shaji Mohan, and okay, so okay, I need little more assistance. Okay, well, till the things get fixed, I'm happy that English section was damn easy. Well, I would say out of 24 questions, we had around 4 passages, each passage consisting 6 questions. I found the passages to be comparatively easier than the last year or the previous year. Okay, so I would say around 21 easy questions and 2 medium questions, and 1 was the only question that was difficult. However, in passage 3, in an order, I happened to find 1 interesting question. All these things will be discussed in a moment or two. My support team is working. Okay, yes, give me a moment. Nikhil, PDF is not. Okay, it will be fixed in a moment or two. I would also like some questions from you people as well. How did you find the sections, and have you got any questions for me before I get going? Okay, in fact, it's a privilege to go live. We are happy that we are doing it, and okay, I expect a little more numbers. Okay, so I guess we will be ready in a few minutes. Okay, well, I'm talking about the readability of all the passages. I believe the readability part of all the passages were comparatively easier than the previous years. Okay, I guess my team has already fixed the screen, and I believe we are good to go. Okay, here we go. Talking about this passage, it says in the realm of contemporary literature. And the best part about English language is this time, I'm very happy because most of the passages had something to do with literature, narration, prose kind of a thing. It was really interesting to do. It was English for English this time. Okay, so without further discussion, I want to discuss about some lovely questions in the passages. Like I said, I have a wonderful team to help me out with this. This couldn't have been possible without the team working behind the camera. Okay, so I'm in front of you. My name is Shaji Mohan, and you're watching Abhyaas Technologies live CLAT paper analysis 2024. So this is English section. Okay, let's get going. The first question, it says, in contemporary literature, how is the relationship between character and setting described in the passage? I'm sure most of you answered it very correctly. And the options are, it is non-existent characters and settings and entirely separate entities. So this is something that to do with, right? So when we talk about this thing, separate entities and all, that's a concern. Is that a concern? Yes, it is. It's a complex interplay between the setting influencing the plot and the character development. So when you go up, let me help you out with that. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, 1 second. I'm sorry about this. Let me first remove all this, and then we will go down. Okay, I'll use this instead. You go up here. Okay, fine. Now, how did I go to the influence part in it? I'm referring to this particular line for that matter. Let me draw this here. Okay. Now, what does the author say? Influencing the plot and character development in the realm of contemporary literature, the interplay between character and setting is a nuanced dance, shapes the narrative's essence. The setting, often described with painstaking detail, becomes more than backdrop, it becomes a character. The setting becomes a character. So how can we rule out the possibility of the setting influencing the plot and the character development? So my answer and the right answer should be option E without a further doubt. I guess. So when you have queries, do put it in the chat section. My team is looking into the chat. Whenever you have a question or doubt, we will be helping you out. In fact, I will help you out with that. Okay, don't worry about that. I have an efficient team working for me. They will help me out with any concerns with regards. Okay, so let's go to question number 2. In the novel, The Namesake by Jhampa Lahiri, what does the barren desert landscape symbolize? What does barren desert landscape symbolize? A thriving community? The protagonist's sense of isolation, identity crisis, or a lush, vibrant setting, or is it a happy, carefree life? Now, what do you think? Well, for me, this sounded more like the protagonist's sense of isolation and identity crisis, right? So, how do we go to this answer? How did we come to an idea that it is isolation? Consider, for instance, the barren expanse of the desert in Jhampa Lahiri's namesake. The arid, okay, now let's go there. The arid landscape mirrors the sense of isolation, okay, the sense of isolation, I'm sorry. One second. No. Now that's the line I wanted to show you here. Okay, I'll still try. Let's draw. I think there's a little. It's okay. Fine. Now that's the exact line that I wanted to show you all people. Okay, because that talks about the isolation of the character. This is what I wanted to say. The sense of isolation felt by the protagonist. Who is the protagonist? The lead in the story. It talks about the sense of isolation felt by the protagonist. So that has to be the answer. So it's B for question 2. Okay, going down, I want to check this. Can I? Oh, that's a concern. That's a concern. Okay. I'm trying. Is there a concern here? Okay. I'll check. No problem. Is there a concern? Okay, I guess we actually have a small issue. Well, that's perfectly all right. Okay, let's go down. We will be talking about question number 3 now. Okay, what role does the Scottish moors play in Shakespeare's Macbeth? The question is, what role does the Scottish moors play in Shakespeare's Macbeth? So can it serve as beautiful setting landscape, or has no influence on characters' action, or it is an ever-present moment of impending tragedy to happen, or it's a place for characters to relax? What do you think? Okay, so Scottish moors play in Shakespeare's Macbeth. Can we go up a little and then find what does he mean by it? The airy and foreboding setting of the Scottish moor casts a dark shadow over the character's action. Dark shadow over the character's action. The moors shrouded in mist and mystery serve as an ever present omen of the impending tragedy. Now that's explicitly given there. Now, in that case, you should be telling me what is the answer. I'm still taking another try. Will I be successful this time? Thickness. Okay. Right.
One more time.
Okay.
No. Off कर दी उसको.
Can you help me out? That's a little concern. Okay, make it thinner.
हाथ में करो, हाथ में.
Okay, well that's good. I believe it's writing now. Thank you so much. Okay, so talking about what role does the Scottish muse play in Shakespeare's Macbeth? So what's your answer now? Shouldn't it be C? Yes, that is exactly what we talked about, and it's an explicitly given one. Okay, going to the next question. Let's go slowly, okay? Because it's English and it should take time actually. What does the term interplay refer in the context of the passage? In the passage, what does the term interplay refer to? A lack of interaction between characters and setting, that can't be true, because it is interplay. A complex relationship where the setting influences the narrative, possibility. An insignificant connection between, well, that means unimportant. We should rule it out. Lack of interaction is something that's negative. A complete separation of characters and setting. Look, that's evident. Where the author talks about lack of interaction, negative, and he says an insignificant, that's unimportant, and then he says a complete separation of characters and setting. In that case, what should be the answer? Yes, you are true. Fourth one should be definitely B, and it was interesting to solve this, where he gives you all negatives and one only goes to the positive one. A complex relationship where the setting influences the narrative, where the setting influences the narration. Right, setting does play a dominant role in it. Which of the following words best describe the setting in the God of Small Things? God of Small Things, is it boring, insignificant, lush and vibrant, or is it dark and foreboding? So, what is your answer for question number 5? Okay, let's go up. God of Small Things. Okay, we will go up here. I want to show. Yes. Okay. On the other end of literary spectrum, there is Arundhati Roy's The God of Small Things. The lush, vibrant Kerala backwaters are not just the setting, they are character woven in the fabric of the story. What more should we actually understand? So that's very evidently given there. So I directly went to the answer, this one. It can't be boring, negative, it cannot be insignificant, unimportant, negative, and dark and foreboding. No, that doesn't talk about darkness, it talks about vibrancy. So it has to be lush and vibrant. Okay. Let's move to the next question. What is the main theme discussed in the passage? What is the main theme discussed in the passage? To understand this question, you need to have an overall gist of the passage, overall understanding of the passage. What is the author trying to convey? Does he mean that the setting influences the characters? Does he mean that this is all setting that actually the authors used to convey strong backdrop stories and all? What is the main theme discussed in the passage? The characters in contemporary literature are not influenced by their setting. Is it true? No. Setting in literature is unimportant. Does he mean that? No. We have read the passage carefully. In literature, settings can be influential as characters. Okay, that's a possibility. Right? Settings have no role in character development. I believe, this question is something that it is something like this one, where we ruled out all the negatives and we went for the positive one. And here too, when we go down, we understand that there is only one possibility, saying that, okay, in literature, settings can be as influential as characters in shaping the literature. So it has to be option C. With that, we finish first passage. Okay. Okay, I have a question from our first student, Ritesh Bhatti. Why is third answer C and why not B? Okay, well, thank you very much, dear. Okay, why not C? Lovely. Thank you very much, Bhatti. What was his name? Yeah. Okay, Ritesh Bhatti. Thank you very much, dear. Appreciate that. That was the third question, huh? Question 3, right, my team? Yeah. Right. Question 3, okay. It has no influence on the character's action. What role does the Scottish? I believe here this was evidently given, right? But still, let's take a look. What role does the Scottish Moors play in Shakespeare's Macbeth? Moor, let's say, for example, I'm sure most of you have read The Hound of Baskerville. Okay, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's Hound of Baskerville. I am referring to this one because in Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's The Hound of Baskerville, Moor represents gloomy, darkness, sadness, mystery, airy feeling and all. So I'm not taking that as a consideration. But here, let's see. What role does Scottish Moors play in Shakespeare's Macbeth? Why does he use Moor? Okay, and when we go down, we see here. Okay, I want you to take a look at this one. Okay, in Shakespeare's timeless tragedy Macbeth, I'm sure many of you have read the book, read the novel. The airy and foreboding setting of the Scottish mood. What does that word airy actually mean, my dear? Mystery, dark, scary, gloomy. See, cast a dark shadow over the character's action. What is it? What does the author, why does the author use Moor? That is exactly what we are trying to convey. My dear Ritesh, I would like you to take a look at this novel I'm referring to, The Hound of Baskerville, where Arthur Conan Doyle uses Moor to represent the setting, represent the characters, and represent the place where the action actually takes place, to convey that. Now, this is very evidently given here. The Moor, shrouded in mist and mystery, serve as an ever-present omen of impending tragedy. For that, we got an answer. I hope I've answered it here, but still, if you have concerns, we will reach out to you with answers again. Okay, fine. The next passage, the crisis of justice that is subject matter of discussion in media today is in fact the crisis of justice for the middle class. But let's look at the first line, how brilliantly the author has used it. The crisis of justice that is the subject matter of discussion in the media today is in fact the crisis of justice for the middle class. This is where the author wants you to understand the passage better. The opening line is an eye-opening, and then you go down and read the paragraph, the passage, you understand what the author is trying to convey. Of course, we cannot read the entire passage in one go. However, we will discuss the questions with clarity. Extracted with edicts from justice and 2 ideas of India. Let's understand this one. Why is this so important? Let's understand. Extracted with edicts from justice and the 2 ideas of India. What does the author convey by saying 2 ideas of India? Okay, here we have Mohan Gopal front line and then go down. Okay, I want some other questions too. Okay, but only if you think I deserve answering that. Okay, what is the central thesis of the above extract? What is the central idea of the above extract? It says practice of untouchability takes various forms in modern India. In modern India, does the author talk about modern India, refer to India as modern, and then he says untouchability and all? Is that the central theme? I'm not talking about the author referring to untouchability somewhere in the paragraph. I'm talking about the central thesis of it. What is the central thesis? Right? The imagination of justice for rich and poor is vastly different. Imagination of justice for the rich and poor is vastly different. Addressing judge strength and cane loss management does not affect the performance of the judicial system. Protecting the livelihood of traditional taxi drivers is contrary for the goals of ease of doing business. Now the question is, should we actually go to the right answer or should we rule out? I strongly recommend for these passages go for option elimination rather than you going to the answer and then getting confused over time and losing hope or confidence. So first one, practice of untouchability takes various forms in modern India. This one is something that I want to rule out. I repeat, the author does refer to untouchability, but he does it mean that it is a central theme? No, it can't. So take a moment and tell me the answer for this question. I'll rule out one more. I want to rule out option D as well. Protecting the livelihood of traditional taxi drivers. Now he does talk about taxi drivers, but does he talk about taxi drivers as a central theme? Can that be the central thesis? No. Two I talked about, two ideas. Addressing justice, judge strength and co-own management, judge strength and all. Now that again talks about one particular idea. I'm not saying the author has not referred, but does he refer as a central thesis? Definitely not. So what should be the answer in that case? Imagine of justice for rich and poor. That is exactly where my team, that is exactly where this thing comes to the mind. Two ideas of India. Right? So, make it fast. Okay? So, let's go there. The answer should be the rich and poor. Great. Okay? My team is actually showing me something. Okay? Okay, we'll do that. Okay. Asking exam paper, key PDF. Right. We'll do that. Don't worry. People, we are doing it. Okay. So, going up, let's see. What does the author mean by docket excluded in the second paragraph? Okay, I have to go a little faster because we have few other sections too. Okay, I'll go a little faster. However, all your doubts and concerns will be gotten back. You can actually reach out to us. What does the author mean by docket excluded in the second paragraph? Excluded in the second paragraph. Okay, now I want to show you that very quickly and I'll explain. Where exactly does he talk? In the second paragraph, now. Second paragraph, it's here. Okay, I want to show you with some clarity here. See, what does he say? The poor, right? And then he goes, they are often victims by lawyers. They are docket excluded. Now the author he uses the pronoun they, not referring to the rich people. He's concerned about the poor. Now you cannot choose an option that talks about the rich. I'm sure many of you thought of this as the answer. Some of you went there too. The rich are excluded from the country's prisons where mostly the poor people are. That could be there. But does he talk about them? No. The poor reject the judicial system as being alien to their language. Alien to the language. Do they decline? No. Courts do not list bail petitions of poor under trial prisoners who populate. Is it true? No. It should be A, the poor do not have, I'm sorry for the error, have easy access to the judicial system. That is exactly what the author tries to convey. We can rule out the rest of the options. Okay, fine. I'm going a little quicker here. Okay, don't mind. Which of the following words best describe the experience of different segments of people with justice system as described in the third paragraph? See, different people have different ideas of the justice system and all. They think the justice is unfair to them, judicial system is unfair to them. So in that case, it has to be conflicting. It cannot be the other one. Which of the following statements is the author most likely to agree with? What could the author most likely to agree with? The judicial system reflects the same power relationship as those that exist in society. Access to judicial system is determined more by a person's economic status. Can it be economic status influencing judicial system? Judicial system was made by the rich for the rich and all. No, that's not true. Okay, now this is also not true in the context. Can it be none of the above? Let's look up. Judicial system reflects the same power relationship as those that exist in the society. Yes, I am sorry for that. It's exist. Even in society, we have differences. Okay, so judicial system reflects the same power, okay, as those that exist in the society as well. That is the author trying to say. That is what he means by, to a poor person, he might find it unfair. For the rich, when the taxes are imposed, he might find it unfair too. So different people have different opinions, right? So that is what it means. Which of the following statements the author most likely to disagree with? What does he disagree with? A truly representative democracy would ensure that the interests of poor are also represented in the judicial system. The law ensures quality both in text and in practice. The poor suffer most at the hands of lawyers. He has already talked about it, so he can't disagree with it, right? A truly representative democracy would ensure that the interests of the poor are also represented in the judicial system. Does he disagree with? No, why would he disagree with? He would agree with that. So the question is disagree. So in that case, law ensures quality both in text and in practice. This is what he disagrees with. In the context of the passage, that rules out option, all the above. Moving down. What makes reform of judicial administration a neutral area? What does it make a neutral area? Persons across socio-economic strata agree on the need to reform judicial administration. There is consensus, there is agreement among political parties across the ideological and regional spectrum on reforms to judicial administration. Reforms to judicial administration do not favor one class of people over another, or reform of judicial administration is mandated by constitution and thus lies beyond political consideration. So when I went down, according to the context of the passage, what makes reform of judicial administration a neutral idea? How do you understand this phrase, a neutral idea? In that context, okay, what could he mean by neutral idea? Okay. Okay. When he says neutral idea, he's certainly referring to what? He's certainly referring to do not favor one class over one another. That's what the neutral idea refers to, equal. So not favoring one to over another. Guys, we have gone wrong again. Okay. Why is it not working? Come again. That's the answer. Okay, fine. I'll go up. Next, moving to the next passage. Passage number 3. Why? No. Okay. Moving down in passage 3. Now, this is a descriptive kind of a passage. A novel description is happening, abstract. Everything she wanted was here at Carignano, in Kasauli. This is one passage that is a little tricky. However, I'll help you out with this. Okay, going to the questions. Okay, I believe we have also the idea extracted with the Dixon revisions from Fire on the Mountains by Anita Desai. What is the protagonist's preference of barrenness and starkness at Carignan suggest about her personality? Why would anybody have this barrenness and starkness and talk about her personality? Does she talk about she being active, vibrant, joyful and all? Of course not. She enjoys bustling and vibrant environment? No. She values simplicity, minimalism in her surroundings, possible. She prefers lush and colorful. No, barrenness and colorfulness are contradicting. She seeks constant stimulation and variety in her life. That can't be possible because she does talk about barren and all. So the only thing that is suitable in this context is option B. It's B. However, it's B. Okay. So she values simplicity and minimalism is the answer, right? What do you get to know about the protagonist's state of mind from her reaction towards the postman? Yeah. Help me out with that. much. Okay, what do you get to know about the protagonist's state of mind from her reaction towards the postman? When the postman, it's said in the passage, when the postman arrives, she kind of mixes with the trees, and as she doesn't want to be recognized, she wants to be invisible. Probably she doesn't enjoy being noticed, so she feels grateful for his presence. No, can't be true. Okay. Okay, right. She feels grateful for his presence. No, can't be true. Okay. Give me a moment. Okay, we are here. Okay, easy. Okay, 1 second. We'll go with draw and we'll check. Goodness. Guess we are good. A little hiccup. Okay, fine. So good. Okay, I'll use my fingers. Fine. Thank you. So going down. So can it be she feels grateful for his presence when she doesn't want him to recognize her, when she wants almost to be invisible? Can it be feeling grateful for his presence? No. She dislikes any disturbance or intervention or interruption in her solitude. She feels suspicious and is interested in the lives of others. Even this should be ruled out for that matter. She is disinterested and generally unaffected by the presence of others. So what is your answer? According to me, when I was doing this passage, the most trickiest question was this one only. Fine. Most trickiest, we have another one. She is disinterested and generally unaffected by the presence of others. Unaffected. Okay, let's say disinterested is okay. But unaffected by the presence of others, she is actually concerned about the presence of others. She doesn't like the presence of others. That's why we talked about barrenness, solitude and all. In that case, I should be ruling out this too, whereas I'll go to this one. She dislikes any disturbance or interruption in her solitude. This word solitude and unaffected by the presence of others are contradicting, right? In that case, that's the answer. Okay, going down quickly. What does the protagonist decide to be mistaken for a pine tree reveal about her mindset? I believe you have come to an idea now. See, what does the protagonist desire to be mistaken for a pine tree reveal about her identity or about her character? She desires to be appreciated and noticed? No. She has a deep admiration for the beauty of pine trees? Definitely no. Okay, barren. She feels a sense of superiority over other living beings? No, that could be true, but that's not told in the passage, so we'll look out. She earns to be one with nature and escapes from her human identity. Certainly, this should be the answer. Why? She wants to be one among them and go invisible for mankind. So that has to be the answer. Good. The protagonist's description of the nestling screams and shrieks. This is the tricky question that I was talking about. This is the trickiest question that I was talking about. Many have, when I actually had an opportunity to talk to some of my students, they kept asking me this one thing. Shrill and maddening. Where do we see that in the passage? Okay, let's say you don't see that in the passage. Read the options carefully. She perceives the sounds to be out of tune yet soothing. Can it be soothing to a person who wants to hide among the trees and go invisible? No. She considers the nestling to the symbols of new life and vitality. Why is she so concerned about new life and vitality when she loves being solitude and barrens and all? No. She finds the nestlings to be vexatious and irritating. We'll keep that away. She feels a sense of protectiveness and care towards the nestlings. Come on. No, that can't be true at all. So all of them go positive, talking about her interest, like, desire, and all. Third option, it says she finds the nestlings to be vexatious, to be quite irritating and disturbing. That is the only thing that she could feel about it. So that is the right answer according to the context of the passage. If you read them carefully, having understood her character, you should be able to answer that without having to bother about where exactly the lines are from. Which of the following statements are true about the protagonist's overall state of mind in Carignano? She experiences a sense of constant restlessness and anguish. That's not told in the passage. She felt isolated and disconnected from her environment. She loved living there. Everything that she wanted, she had it there. What does that line talk about in the passage? Can it be disconnected? No. She was content. Everything that she had, that means she was contented with whatever she had. In that case, this should be the answer, so it should be only D. Lovely. Going next, in the light of above passage, what role does nature play in the protagonist's life at Carignano? What role does the nature play? It provides her with a source of creativity. Is it taught in the passage? It offers her solace, peace, and a sense of belonging. Belonging to what? It serves as a reminder of the harsh realities of life, or it serves as a constant source of distraction and intrusion for her. Now, tell me, what should be the most possible answer? Well, I found one answer, but let's check if that's your answer too. Can it be option D? It serves as a constant source of distraction. Was she distracted? Intrusion in her life? No, she wasn't. It provides her with a source of creativity. Why? Somebody who's like solitude, okay, barrenness, somebody who wants to be one among the trees and go unnoticed. How does creativity help in that manner? It serves as a reminder of the harsh realities of life. Now she had come all the way down there to live a contented life, not to understand or to experience harsh vitality or to embrace it. It's only option B. It offers her solace, peace, and sense of belonging. Yep, true. So let me go a little quicker, guys. Okay, I'm here to help you out always. Okay, you can reach out to us anytime, no problem. English literature is vast and diverse field that has left an indelible mark on the world of literature. When we talk about literature, what names do you get? Shakespeare, B.B. Shelley, Wordsworth, and all, right? Great. And most of you also know William Wordsworth belonged to the Romantic era, right? Fine, let's go to the questions below. Who is often regarded as the greatest playwright in the history of English language? Now, this passage doesn't require any inference, any extra reading, understanding the theme and all. All the questions have answers given in the passage. So it is said William Shakespeare. It's given in the passage. It's given in the passage literally. I don't think that you should be more concerned. Eloquent plays of William Shakespeare or one of the luminaries. You understand this word luminaries. Who is a luminary? A luminary is a person who influences, who does great work and inspires people. So one who inspires or influences is a luminary. For me, it should be option C then. Which of Jane Austen's novel is known for social commentary and witty portrayal of romance? I think, witty portrayal of romance. Is it Sense and Sensibility 94? Okay. Or is it I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud? And that is also given in the passage. When I read it, I found Sense and Sensibility to be the answer. I'm sure everybody went there, right? See, 19th century ushered a new era of literary giants. Jane Austen's novels such as Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility provide hints of social commentary and the lens of romance. Okay, right. In that case, it has to be option B. Moving down, who are the romantic poets mentioned in the passage known for celebrating nature and intense human emotions? Nature and human emotions, I talked about them. Where did we go? He does talk about, I talked about William Wordsworth. It was somewhere given in the passage. Right? Let's say, Romantic era brought forth poets like William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge, who celebrated the beauty of nature and human emotional intensity, right? Okay, in that case, these are the people that we are talking about. Moving down, Okay, what is the title of Virginia Woolf's novel known for its modernist narrative style? Is it Pride and Prejudice, or is it 1984, Mrs. Dalloway, or God of Small Things? Okay, for this 22, I found. Okay, let me take a look. Okay, I found it C, but is it C? Okay, I have to cross check a moment. What is it? I'll go up. The question is Virginia Woolf's novel. Okay, I'll go up here. I happen to find it somewhere here. All right. A scene in George Orwell's 1904 provided star earnings about the danger of totalitarian. Okay. I'll go a little more up and then read from here. Right. Virginia Woolf's groundbreaking novel. What's that? Mrs. Dalloway explored what? The inner thoughts and lives of its character with a modernistic narrative style. In that case, we found the answer. I was right. I was just cross-checking that because many of you wonderful people are watching. Identify the 20th century novel mentioned in the passage that provides a warning about the dangers of totalitarian. Is it dangers? We just read now. Dangers of totalitarian. We were just going up and we read this. Where was it? Here. Yes. A scene, right? So it's 1984 provided stark warnings about the dangers of totalitarian. Yes. I think we got the answer for this one too. So this is a passage that has answers all given. I'm just cross-checking because I want to make sure that you are in the right way. What does the passage highlight as the enduring power of English literature? What does the passage highlight as the enduring power of English literature? Its ability to win literary awards. Is that what the author is trying to convey? The diversity of its author, themes and styles, ability to captivate and inspire only British readers. Now this is too much to corner with people. The decline of storytelling. No, it can't be decline. Ability to win literary awards could be possible. A and B could be possible. Let's say when we go down here, let's see here. What does the author say? English literature is a testament to the enduring power of storytelling and the written word. It encompasses an array, okay, that means diverse of authors, themes and styles, okay. In that case, it should be option B than option A. Okay, guys, so we have seen 4 passages in English page. All of them went well. 21 questions were easy, 2 were medium, and 1 was the only question that was difficult. However, I have explained all of them. In case you have still questions or you want to reach out to us, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. Done with the English section. Thank you, my team, for helping me out with some technical glitches. Okay, I would like to invite, okay, Sai Chand sir, okay, for your legal reasoning section. Here I go. Let's welcome. Okay, can the team? Which one? Okay, fine. Thank you very much.
Yeah, students. So if I have to talk about legal reasoning, it was a very, very easy paper. Very easy paper. One, with regards to passage, like, see, there are 2 components to this exam. One is the questions part, one is the passage part. Now, the questions were definitely very easy. The only thing was passage. A lot of you get stuck at passage thinking that this is a difficult passage, so I won't attempt it. But the passages were also very familiar. 79 intermediary ka, the whole thing, the immunity thing, that has been covered in one of your mock, right? Freedom of speech with regards to press has also been covered through multiple aspects, right? So all these were there in somewhere in your mock or in your worksheet, right? Okay, so without further ado, let's start with the legal reasoning portion. Mostly I will be emphasizing on key. If you have any doubt with regard to, or if you're seeking more detail on why that should be the answer, then we can take that. Use the comment box. Our team is there, available here. They will be responding accordingly, right? So, okay. So if you look at the first passage, now this talked about a concept in juvenile justice, right? There is a Juvenile Justice Act, and the concept is talking about those aged between 16 and 18. And it says that these are this particular people between this age, 16 to 18, they will be called children in conflict with law. You know what is this? Because we have done in class. That means you can be treated as a juvenile or a child, or you can be treated as an adult, right? If you're 16 to 18, you have done a crime. That means you can be treated either way. That will be decided by a juvenile justice board, which consists of these members, right? It consists of a metropolitan magistrate or a judicial magistrate, one, and in addition to that, it will consist of two social workers. That has been given, at least one of whom has to be a woman. Now, what does this particular thing do? They decide that whether this child in conflict with law, whether he should be provided with this benefit. The benefit is that whether he should be treated as an adult or not. Right? To decide that, this particular board, what they do, they take into consideration multiple aspects which have been given in the last passage. Right? Now let's stop there and let's get with the options. Now the first question, direct. It's given in the first paragraph itself. What is the objective of this act? This objective of this act is to rehabilitate and reintegrate children in conflict with law. Although it provides benefit to all the children, anyone below the age of 18, but in the passage we're talking about 16 to 18. Nothing there to discuss about that particular question. Let's get to the next question. Who makes up the Juvenile Justice Board? Directly given, again, as I've told you, one among the judicial magistrate or the district or the metropolitan magistrate on one side, plus two social workers. Where is that given? Yeah, it's given here. The metropolitan magistrate or judicial magistrate of the first class and two social workers. One of them being woman, right? What is the role of Juvenile Justice Board? What is its role? Similarly, directly given in the passage, it is to assess the age, circumstances of the juvenile and make decision on rehabilitation. That means indirectly to make decision whether to be given this immunity or whether to be treated him like an adult or should be treated like a juvenile. So that particular thing is there. We won't stop there because even that is the easy one. Right? What is the distinction between child in conflict with law and child in need of care and protection? The passage simply talks about two concepts. They are trying to analyze and they are trying to ask you what is the difference between them. The answer is simple. Child in conflict with law is someone between 16 to 18 who has done a crime. Every person between 16 to 18 who has done a crime is child in conflict with law. The thing is whether he should be provided with this care and protection. That thing is the next one. That is child in need of care and protection. So every child in conflict with law may not be provided with this remedy. So it is whether the 16 to 18 kid, right, whether he should be provided this benefit or not. Right? Child in conflict with law has committed a crime, whereas child in need of care and protection is vulnerable or at risk. Right? There can be some level of overlapping also. Right? Fine. Okay. Let's get into the next passage. Okay. We still have two questions. Let's do that. Simple again, straight. All the questions from this were very straight. I don't think there will be anyone who would have made mistake in this. Right? Given it was like a simple comprehension that comes in class 6th or 7th grade. Okay, 57. Under what circumstances can a child between the age of 16 to 18 be tried as an adult? In what cases? Right, it's directly given. What is the answer to this? The answer is B. Right? After preliminary inquiry, if the Juvenile Justice Board is saying that even though he's 16 to 18, treat him like adult, you will be treated like adult. No, treat him like a child, you have to be treated like a child. So it is preliminary assessment of Juvenile Justice Board which decides this. Right? Then the next one. 58. What is the purpose of placing restriction on the publication of information related to juvenile? What is that? Straight away given in the last paragraph. It is to secure the privacy, to protect the privacy and the future prospects of the child. All these things were given. Let's get into the next passage. Even next passage, I would be taking that very, very quickly because everything was there directly from the passage. Right? So it is talking about online defamation. Right? So it says that there is a special act called Information Technology Act. Those who have followed the mocks of Abhyaas, they know that what is 79. What is this protection given to intermediary? Or what is intermediary also? Everything is clear to our Abhyaas students. As you know, intermediary is a platform, right? Intermediary is a platform which is publishing
Nothing.
Yeah. So intermediary is a platform which is actually giving this. Intermediary is a platform which is providing you to share your content. For example, Facebook, Instagram, these are intermediaries. The poster is a person who is posting on this particular platform, right? Now, Facebook and Instagram will be not per se liable towards whatever content you post. That means if I post a content which was not permitted under law, will Facebook be liable? The law says no. They have this particular thing. What is that? They have a safe harbor and they will not be punished as such. But they can be punished in one circumstance, and that circumstance is there has been an explicit order made by government or the court which says that please remove this content. If the court or the government has made an order telling the intermediary, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, saying that you have to remove this order, and still the platform doesn't remove it, then there will be liability on them. Right? Simple passage. Let's get into the question. Yeah. So there was this part of judgment which talked about this particular two entities, which is court's order and government's directive. These two things, if has been given to the intermediary saying that you remove it, you have to remove it. Okay. Let's get into the question. What is the primary focus of the passage? I think it's very directly given from the passage. It is the legal aspects of online defamation in India. Now, for those who are confused with whether the answer should be C, I say C is true. The statement is true. But what is the question? What is the substantive part? The substantive part is what is the primary focus of the passage, right? If I say legal aspects of online defamation, usme the small portion is what is the role of intermediary. That means the option B covers option C in it. So if you're answering B, in a way you are saying that C is also included. So B becomes a good answer because all other aspects, online defamation में every aspect, whether that be intermediary under 79 or whether that be any other aspect as to what has to be proved and all those things, reputation and all those things, everything has been discussed in the passage. Definitely some extra emphasis is added to this particular aspect, but this is not the limited thing that the author is talking about. Right? Let's get into the next passage. Sorry, next question. Fine. So 60. What is online defamation as described in the passage? Very simple, very straight away. I won't discuss much about this, right? Because making harmful statement about someone in person. Is it in person? If it's online, how can it be person? Then online harassment, a form of political activism. Very vague answer, very direct answer can be reached if you read it, just sensible, right? Now, what is the significance of section 79? As I told you, it provides safe harbor, right? All intermediaries, it provides safe harbor. That is given in option B. It provides safe harbor for intermediaries in case of online defamation. Right. Next, according to the Supreme Court in Shreya Singhal, under what circumstances should intermediaries act in response to content removal? As I told you, the judgment explicitly states that the government's directives and the court's order has to be obeyed. Where are those two things given? It's given in option B, a valid court order or a government directive. Right? Next, how does the Indian legal system balance the right of freedom of expression and right to reputation in the online defamation case? Directly given in the passage. It does that by, just a second, So how does it does that? Balancing between the right, how does it does? Whether the careful examination of the content, context, and intent of the statement, they try to balance this. So if you did not have intention, maybe the freedom of right or the right to freedom of speech and expression will be promoted. If it's with intent, in order to lower someone's reputation, then maybe that other aspect will be preferred. So accordingly, this is also directly given in the passage. We'll quickly mark it as C, right? All these aspects are here. In online defamation case, what must the plaintiff prove about the defamatory statement? What he should prove? Again, the same thing has been given in the passage, right? If you read it, I don't want to go back to the passage again because in that way it will consume time. It is directly given that it should be false, damaging to the reputation and made with a degree of fault. That degree of fault, if you look, you will understand there are negligence and other aspects which are covered. But if you see that it was a political activism, that it was made with good intention, that it was true and intended
These are all the defense that the defendant would take, not the plaintiff, right? So accordingly, 64 is the answer. Then, what is the role of intermediaries in context of online defamation case? What is their role? Now, here a lot of students got confused because there was this word in the passage which says that the intermediaries should not act in a proactive manner. Now, A is saying to actively monitor. Proactive is what? When you so move to take everything, right? When no court order is there, no directive is there, you yourself have determined something as being, against law, and you're simply removing it. Now, you have to rely on a court order or a government's directive, right? If you go beyond that, that's called proactiveness. Now, proactiveness is not allowed, but activeness is allowed. Right? If you read other option, private complaint, directly it's given the passage that private complaints should not be entertained by the intermediaries. Then completely absolved is completely negative statement. To encourage online defamation, encourage doesn't make sense at all. Okay. Now, this passage was something which I can call moderate. Otherwise, the entire paper was very, very easy, right? Now, this particular passage talks about a very important aspect which is called the freedom of speech and expression with regards to press or the medium, right? Now, it says that there is something known as Editors Guild, which is not happy with this new law, which tries to restrict the freedom of speech and expression of the press. How does it do it? It says that there is a person called a registrar, right? Now, what does this registrar do? What does this registrar do? Now, he has this power to cancel the registration of these people. If your registration is cancelled in simple way, you cannot publish anything in India. Now, there is a wide criticism by Editors Guild with respect to it. Right? One criticism is that not only the registrar, anybody who is a governor, who say the state government has decided that a clerk would decide what should amount to a valid content, then he can do it. So this wide discretion of specified authority can be anybody, right? That is something which the guild is criticizing. The second aspect is that if you come to this UAPA, and under UAPA there are two acts: terrorist activities and unlawful activities. Under this particular context, the author is trying to say that the Editors Guild is not happy with this particular law, and the connection with the registrar's decision to cancel or strike down a registration is that if you are convicted, right? Right. So two laws. One is sedition and one is UAP. Under these two, right? These are some of the laws which try to curb your freedom of speech and expression. How? If you're once labeled with this particular thing, your license will be cancelled. Your registration will be cancelled. Once your registration is cancelled because you're framed under this particular law, you will no more be able to publish your content. That means your freedom of speech and expression is restricted. Right? Now, there is a very important and there is a very critical question which has been asked in this passage. Let's get into the question 66. Right. The PRP bill defines newspaper. It means loose folded sheets usually printed on newsprint. Two things. It's printed physical thing. Second, loose folded. If you go by these two words, it's very simple. First option talks about digital media. Definitely it's not print media then. Second, the thing in the second option is, option B is, right, it talks about Mr. Y publishing books. There's a small mistake. Okay. Books. Now, books cannot be called as given in the definition. What? Loose folded sheets. Because of which we eliminate this answer as well. Then we are left with only one option, that is C. Right? Okay, fine. Let's get to question number 67. Who among the following is not eligible to publish a periodical as per the PRP bill? Now, if you have seen this particular thing, as I have discussed, the word used is convicted. If you're convicted for UAPA, sedition and all these laws, your freedom of speech and expression will be restricted. So the word is conviction. Option B and C are talking about you're being accused of something. That means the conviction is still pending. You're not convicted. So conviction is a final title, whereas accused is mere allegation. Since the passage explicitly says, use the word conviction with regard to UAPA, whether that be terrorist activity or unlawful activity, along with sedition, it clearly says that if you're convicted for those offences, your right will be restricted. So only A should be the answer, right? Because of the word accused and convicted as given in contrast. Now, which of the following is a threat to freedom of speech and expression in India? Now, with this particular question, I have a small, here and there. I think the answer should be either D or it should be B, right? 75%, if we go with what has been given in the passage, it should be B. 25% chances are there, it should be D. I will explain you how. Right now, if you see, as I've told you, that these people, all these editors guild and all those people who are publishing, they're not happy with the present law. Why? Because in this present law, there's a clause which says that if you are convicted for this offense, your registration will be cancelled, because of which you will not be able to publish. Right? Laws which can be used by the government in whatever way they want, they will accuse you, they will punish you. Once you are punished, your registration is cancelled, you cannot do anything. Right? So with that regard, they are unhappy. Now, if you look at A, it says that they might be linked with criminals. Now, do you think this is one of the reasons that the Editors Guild is unhappy? Are they unhappy because if you are framed for UAPA, people might think that people may associate you with some criminal. Is that one of the concern of the particular guild? No, the guild is talking about one particular thing, that is, you have a freedom of speech and expression. That is being curtailed. How is it being curtailed? The curtailment comes in the form of what? Cancel of registration. So nothing is there about cancel of registration here. Therefore, I would not consider this as a good answer. Right? Otherwise, this is a very true statement, but not in the context of passage. For that reason, I would mark it as B. Right? B has been directly given in the passage. Now, next question, the PRP bill. Yeah, the PRP defines specified authority to mean district magistrate or collector or any such member. Just all these aspects are covered. I won't touch this answer because everything has been given in the passage directly. Right now, some of you may say that the word used in the passage is actually press registrar, whereas the question talks about press registrar general. There is no as such difference because you have to go. You should not restrict yourself with the terminology. I believe that you have to see the concept or the underlying context which has been used to address that conflict of interest. Right? Then freedom of press is not specifically guaranteed under the Constitution of India, but is implied in Article 19(1)(a), which is freedom of speech and expression. Therefore, freedom of press is part of fundamental rights. Which of the following should be correct? Now, if you go straight, the answer should be B. But the answer should be B. But the thing here is, how come you would know that whether under 19(1)(a), which is one of the fundamental rights, how come you would know that this particular freedom of speech allows the government to put valid restriction? Right? This is something which a lot of Abhyasis also know. But the thing is, given that, right, CLAT consortium says that your prior knowledge of law is not required, we cannot come to an answer from the passage. From the passage and the question, the information given in the passage and question, we cannot conclude as to whether a restriction can be put on rights related to this or not. For that reason, I would mark it as D. Whereas B can also be an answer. Right? Now, PRP bill denies the right to publish periodicals to a person who has been found to have committed a terrorist act and has been convicted by a competent court in India. Which of the following is the most appropriate reason? If you go with this is also very straight away given. Right? Nothing else is given about, say that a criminal will not have fundamental rights. This is something which has not been talked in the passage. If you eliminate that, most appropriate answer that is left is then, right? That is C. Right, fine. So let's get started with the next one. Okay. Now this particular passage is talking about Personal Data Protection Act. Under this PDPA Act, what happens is there is something known as data fiduciary, right? And there is something known as data principal. Now, data fiduciary is a body which is actually carrying your data. Data principal is a person who is giving his data. Now, you have given your data to an entity, right? That entity possesses your information, your personal data. How should it behave? Right? What should it do with your particular information? Can it use it for any purpose? Right? When this entity becomes the government, that means if government collects information from the people, Can they use it for any purpose? All these things have been talked in this particular passage, right? Now, if I have to talk about the key aspects of this passage, one is government has been given a lot of exemption under this. That means if government possess an information regarding an individual, they can pretty much use it for anything, right? That is one particular thing. And apart from that, it also says that the personal data which is held right outside India, that doesn't come under the purview of this act. These are the two aspects which are required, right? Let's get with the answers. Yeah, 72. Mr. Lal was suffering from a rare disease, and the data relating to that was collected by the government. Suppose the DPA 2023 provides exemption for the government relating to data deemed necessary for research, archiving, or statistical purposes if the personal data is not to be used to take a decision specified to a data principal. As I've told you, who is data principal? Data principal is the person whose data is being taken by the data fiduciary. Here, the government is taking data of the data principal, the individual, right? Now, the government can use that data, but they cannot use it for decisions specific to the data principal, right? That is given in option B, so it cannot be the answer. The data can only be used for taking any decision regarding Mr. Lal. No, it should not be, right? Now, the personal data of Mr. Lal's health condition and his personal data can be preserved by the private hospitals? No. Right? Accordingly, the answer should be A. Now, suppose the DPA 2023 provides exemption for the processing of personal data for the purpose of ascertaining the financial position of any person who has defaulted in payment of amount due to loan taken by a nationalized bank. Now, here, you may say that the government, again, if it's a nationalized bank, the government is taking data from you for a very legitimate purpose. Now, to what extent can they take? Now, if you see the passage, you must have read that it can take to any extent, right? The first purpose has come to end. For second purpose also, without your consent, they can start using it. And they may not delete your data ever. Even that is possible. So, great level of exploitation is there. The only limit is that your data can be exploited. Can someone else's data can be exploited? No, right? Accordingly, the answer to this should be, yeah, the bank can possess the data of Mr. X only, right? Whereas here it's talk about family, right? Here also it talks about family. For that reason, the answer is C, right? Now, next question. Suppose Mr. Y, a citizen of India, is working in a MNC in New Zealand. Since 2021, the MNC has obtained personal data of the employee for the purpose of recovering the amount of indemnity bond if Mr. Y left the job. Now, you know that a data which has been stored or which is being processed outside India, that cannot be brought under the purview of this act. That means this PDP Act only governs those data which has been collected by a data fiduciary which is located within India. Now here, the company which is collecting data, it is located in New Zealand. That is one aspect. Second, the data has been collected since 2021 and it still exists. That means since 2021, the word since is very important here. Since 2021, this data is being used. What does that mean? That means that from 2021, and given that 3 years is 2024 and beyond that also, this data which is there with the New Zealand company, New Zealand MNC, it is still being kept with them. Allowed under PDP Act? No. This particular aspect would not come under the PDP Act because outside data, outside of India, right? That cannot be brought under this particular. Now, why the answer is not D, according to me, is that it is saying it's not applicable since the data has been obtained before the enactment. Now, if you look at the language of this particular passage, it says it's not talking about when the data was collected, right? If you look at the language where this particular exemption has been talked about, the law also exempts processing of personal data held outside of India. What is this? The word uses processing. So it's not about obtaining. It's not relevant whether you have obtained it today or 10 years back. The thing is whether are you processing this particular data today when the law is in force. If today, when the law is in force, you're still using this data, that means that this particular act will be applicable. But the question is whether it is located within India or outside India. Given that it is located outside India, this particular act will not be applicable. Accordingly, the answer should be C, accordingly, right? if personal data is defined as any data about an individual who is identifiable by or in relation to such data, that means identifiable by such data or in relation to such data. That means if you have given a piece of information, if you can reach out to the person directly or indirectly, that will constitute a personal data. If a name of the person is given, it's direct data. Full residential address is given to you. You can reach out to the person. You can identify a person. Then Aadhaar number can also be used to track down to that particular individual, right? So all these things are there. Now, after that, 76, in which of the following case the access to personal data shall be granted. The access to personal data shall be granted, and the person whose data is accessed and processed cannot claim personal data protection, as I have told you, right? Z. If you have seen the passage, it talks about two things: in order to prevent a crime, in order to investigate a crime. For both these two categories, personal data can be procured. So given that in the first situation, someone has actually committed, so investigation is going. At that stage also you can use. In order to prevent, also you can use. Both the words are there in the passage. Please have a look into that. Right? Now, after that, which of the following is correct? Personal data collected by health service provider can be sold to insurance agency. No. Both A and D are wrong. B is the correct answer. Right? I don't think so there is anything there to discuss about that particular aspect. Now, the next particular passage, this particular passage is talking about something known as the succession right of an illegitimate child. Now, who is an illegitimate child? Someone who is born out of a marriage which is not recognized. That means either it's a void marriage or it's a voidable marriage. Right? In both these two situations, if out of that relationship, if a child is born, we call them illegitimate child. Now, this particular passage is saying that illegitimate child has a right equal to a legitimate child. That means A and B have married, right? A also marries C. Now, you know that once you are married, if you're married to another woman, it's an offense of bigamy and the second marriage will not be valid. In that case, if a child is born out of that extramarital affair, that will be still considered as the kid who is born out of that particular relationship will be still considered as a legitimate child for the purpose of succession. That means the passage is simply saying that there is no difference between a legitimate child and an illegitimate child when it comes to succession, right? Otherwise, the title remains the same. Now, if you go with that particular reasoning, right, I will quickly mark the answers because the questions were very simple from this. Right, in the first situation, so there is Goggle, who is born out of an illegitimate relationship. He is an illegitimate child. What would the law say? The law would say that even though he is an illegitimate child, he will have equal right to succession, just like a legitimate child. Right? Now, that particular thing is given in option C, right? Yeah. Right. Then we have in the above facts, same facts, consider the property was purchased. They are talking about self-acquired property. Now, we know that with self-acquired property also, two people definitely have right. Who are they? Both illegitimate and legitimate child. In this particular case, who is illegitimate child? Goggle. Who is legitimate child? Arpita. So these two people will definitely have a say, right? But the thing is, this appears in two options, right? So we have to figure whether Ashima, whether she has a title to the property or not, self-acquired property or not. If you read the passage, there is nothing mentioned about whether the second wife, the wife who is not legally considered to be a wife, or the marriage is void or voidable. In that case, that particular woman, will she have a right to self-acquired property or not? Nothing has been talked about that particular aspect in the passage. For that reason, we cannot conclude. I'm not saying she will not be. From passage, we cannot conclude that Ashima will have or not. For that reason, the answer is C. Right? Then, based on your reading of the passage, how did the Hindu Marriage Act influence? If you read it, directly says for void or voidable marriages, right? The concept extends to Hindu Succession Act. That means whether you are born out of a void or voidable marriage, you still have a right to inherit the property, the ancestral property, right? Okay, fine. Then 81, if you read question number 81, they're talking about the situation again. There's a woman, she's married to a man. When she got this marriage solemnized, she was a minor. Upon reaching the age of majority, she gets to know that she can cancel this marriage, or she can make this marriage void. Or right now this marriage is voidable. Now already they have a kid. That means it's an illegitimate child. Now voidable or void, right? No matter whether it's voidable or void. The thing is, the question here is whether that particular kid will have a right. Both the kids will have a right because according to the passage, an illegitimate child can inherit both mother or father. If you read the word, right, that's the next question also. Right, both mother and father, their ancestral property can be claimed by the illegitimate child as well. Right now, 82. Ajay is married to two women, Dia and Ria. Both don't know of each other. Again, one marriage is valid here, one marriage is not valid here. Which is the first? Which marriage comes first? With Dia, the marriage comes first. That means this is a valid marriage, right? And the other one is void marriage. Out of valid marriage, there are no kids. But of invalid marriage, there are two kids, right? That means these two children are illegitimate child. Who are they? Raj and Rani. What will be their claim to the father's ancestral property? You know that illegitimate children are treated equal to legitimate children. That means Raj and Rani both can ask for their share from the father's ancestral share in that property before he died, right? So, if you go by that particular reason, right, you would say that her children can still inherit property from Ajay thanks to Supreme Court judgment, because yeah, Supreme Court judgment has said that doesn't matter whether you're legitimate or illegitimate, as long as you are you're born to that particular couple, right? Although it's voidable or void marriage, from your parent you can claim their share of ancestral property, right? Now, 83 in the above scenario, Ria. What would Ria have as a claim, right? You see, Ria is the second wife. Again, we don't know whether she can get or not. Nothing is conclusive. So, as per the passage, she cannot inherit property, as the judgment merely talks about right of children from a void marriage. So, we don't know whether she can or she cannot, right? Okay. Then 84, that Srinath's first marriage was void. Again, this particular question is talking about a concept, that is whether the illegitimate child can acquire the property of ancestral property of their parents. So it's a gender neutral word. Given that the parent word is used, it can be mother or father. If she is going to acquire through the Hindu Succession Act an amount of ancestral property, she can claim it, irrespective of whether she is legitimate or illegitimate child. Right? That means Dhanalakshmi could demand a notional partition. Notional partition means, had it been that this was the case, had it been that she was a legitimate child of this particular woman, what would she get? She would still get the same amount, right? With that, I think we have come to the end, right? I hope this was useful. You can use the comment section. If you have any dispute or if you have a conflicting interest with that of mine, we can take that in subsequent rounds of videos that we will make, right? We're going to come up with some other wonderful analysis. Once the marks are out, the cutoff, everything will be talked to you, covering each and everything comprehensively. With that, now I invite our logical faculty from here up to. Thank you.
Hello everyone, without wasting any time, let's start with the analysis of logical reasoning section of CLAT 2024. What would I say about this section? Some tricky passages, but I would say elimination technique would definitely help in getting the right answers. Let's start with the first passage. Very small passage. I would say it is an abstract passage. Readability was a little bit tough. A lot of vocabulary was used. But let's start with the questions directly. What is the central theme of the passage? So I can eliminate, it is not about human language, because the key word here is itself the word. So I mark my answer as the impact of the words on human existence, because I get the keywords here. And that's why my central theme revolves around the impact of words on human existence. Next question. What does a word symbolize? Now, little bit tough question. Let's go with the elimination technique. It is not an object and it is not animate also. There was a sentence given that it is neither animate nor inanimate. It means it is not even tangible. Animate means something which has life. So I can easily eliminate tangible as well. Hence my answer is intangible concept. Question number 87. How does the passage describe words' ability to affect emotions? Words can only evoke positive emotions? No. I cannot take this extreme option. Words can absorb emotions. Okay, this part was directly given in the passage. But the second part of this option, it become emotion themselves. Now this is the problematic area. I can't say it becomes emotion themselves. It evoke emotions. They elicit joy. But I can't say that words become emotions themselves. Words have no impact. Again, extreme option. Words can be devoid of emotions. How can I say this, that word can be devoid of emotion? So there is a sentence in the passage which says, as hard as rock. It says, as dry as a rock. So I can say it can be devoid of the emotions. Hence my answer is option B. Tricky one. Moving on to the next question. An engagement with words is the most captivating, enchanting and sometimes daunting. So it covers three aspects: positive and daunting, which means negative. So captivating, engrossing, enchanting. So all the three aspects are covered if you get engaged with the words. Hence my answer is option D. It covers different colors. All of its different colors are covered. Question number 89 strengthens the author's idea. Glowworms momentarily dispelling. Now momentarily means temporary. Dispel means going away with something. Look at this question carefully. Dispel the surrounding darkness. It means as of now there is darkness. But with the words, because of the glow of the words, for a certain period of time, you dispel this darkness. It means you escape your reality. Do not get confused with this word illuminate, which resembles with glowworms. No, because it talks about illuminating the mind of the reader. But if I look at the whole sentence, it talks about momentary dispel. So for a shorter period of time, you keep aside that darkness and you focus on the glow part. Moving ahead. Question number 90. In the context of the passage, what is the significance of the word within the word? So your keyword, key idea, your clue is there in the sentence itself, the second part. So the last sentence of the passage says, I say the word within the word is the abode of faith. It means it talks about the positive aspects of the word. Hence answer is option A, which create inspiration, energy and faith. So all three positive aspects are there. Some might get confused with option C, mysteries hidden. So yes, there is a part of words that they are enigmatic, but with this sentence I have to figure out something positive about the words. Moving on to the next passage. Reading the next passage was easy, AI based passage, and the cautions which our government should take and what they should do. So certain advice and recommendation by the author is there. Let's talk about the first question. Would most strengthen the main argument of the passage? So main argument is here. What is the conclusion of the author? If I look at this line. Let us lead instead of only being led. So as of now, India is just on the receiving end. So we should not just take the precedence and follow it. We should start leading. We should start taking initiative. That is the recommendation of the author. Hence, for question number 91, Correct answer is option D, which says government-led initiatives and development lead to efficient outcomes. Easy question, not a tricky one. Question number 92, strengthen the main argument. So, again, government that lead the initiative on regulating, responding, get benefits the most from them. The same point that government should take the initiatives. Question number 93. I think our students can easily attempt the strengthen and weakening question. We can easily eliminate the options. Indian courts should start engaging with the broader issues. Which of the following would author be most likely to agree? So the author wanted to say that courts should take the initiatives by being innovative. It means you should not always rely on the precedents, right? So in certain cases, when precedence is not there, you should not wait and take the initiative. Question number 94. Necessarily be true. This is the problem with the first option. AI regulation is the responsibility of the courts. No, the author said that the government should take the initiatives. C says it's a collaborative effort involving all the institutions. Now, some of you might have thought that an extreme word is used, but author himself has used the extreme word, so we also have to take. There was a sentence in the passage which says, other institutions, this does not let other institutions off the hook. It means we have to include all the institutions. That's why option C is the answer. Moving ahead, question number 95. Okay. Good question. A lot of critical reasoning is involved here. And tricky question. So, which of the following would result in weakening? Now, understand the question properly. Which of the following would result in weakening? It means you think that if we do this, if we follow this, we are on the stronger aspect. But it would reverse. It means you think that you are going to be in a stronger state, but definitely it backfires. So it makes you weaken later if you follow that. So I think A and B talks about the same thing. So two options, when they talk about the same thing, we can easily eliminate because two options cannot be the answer. Out of B and C, both are contentious, but I'll go with the C because it says introducing generative models like Voodoo which already exists. Okay. Demonstrated success in other jurisdiction. It means this option says we should follow the precedents, and author is not in this favor. So if you do this, it means you are just following and you are not leading, you are being led. Hence, if we do this, we are in the weakening state. I think I have missed question number 91. Let's go back once. Let me check. So, I think we covered the question most likely to agree with. So, government-led initiatives was covered. Okay. Question number 96. Missing this bus will after all be even more costly than missing the chip research one. It means India has already missed something on the chip research one. So, question is, author most likely to agree. So, what is the suggestion of the author with this statement is this, that India should have proactively, it means India should have done, but they did not do this and hence they missed the bus. Okay. Moving ahead, moving on to the next passage. Okay, it is a new question type. It is like decision making, which is generally question type in the management exams. How to solve these questions, how to understand. It appears very easy, but let's understand something before moving ahead with the questions. So let's understand a flow chart. So there are various steps in this problem. So first situation was given that it requires have the people of this company, they have lack of motivation, which leads to absenteeism. Can you understand the flow of the problems? This lack of motivation leads to absenteeism, and then there is a problem of machine breakdown. And eventually this machine breakdown leads to low production, delayed production, and the quality issues. So the first question talks about question number 90. Question number 97. So, potential root cause. What is the root cause of the decline in the production efficiency? So, what is the root cause? If I look here, first two are the information which is there. So, here there is no problem. High automation is required. Highly skilled workforce is required, but it did not say that we do not have such kind of workforce, so we cannot assume that we do not have this. Now my problem starts here. Because of lack of motivation, it leads to absenteeism and machine might not be handled properly. That's why it is prone to breakdown. So what is the root cause? What is the root cause? This is the result of absenteeism, and absenteeism happened because of this. So this part becomes, lack of motivation becomes the root cause of the problem. So for question number 97, answer would be option B. Lack of motivation and job satisfaction among the workforce is the root cause of all the problem. Because before this, there was no problem as such in the factory or the company. Question number 98. What makes the introduction of the new production system? Introduction of the new production system a potential contributing factor. What is the potential contributing factor to this problem? Problem of lack of efficiency. Lack in efficiency. So what is the potential? Now, as we have just checked that these are the effects. These are not the contributing factors. These are the result of some other problems. Now, it requires specialized operators. I cannot say that we do not have this. We can't assume that we do not have this. Now, my point is, system is highly automated. Because the system is highly automated, we require high-skilled workforce, which leads to the lack of motivation. Hence, this is the problem with the introduction of the new production system, that it is highly automated. This is my problem. Hence, option A is the answer. Moving ahead, question number 99. What is the critical difference between the competitors and ours? One statement was given that we have similar technology. It means technical aspects are similar. So if technical aspects are similar, what is the differentiating factor? Only the human factor. That will be changed company to company because persons are subjective, they are not objective. Hence, so critical difference will be about workforce and it cannot surround around it cannot about machinery. So answer is option C. 100. How might the increased absenteeism? So problem here is absenteeism effect. So what is the effect of absenteeism? So just think, if high-skilled workforce, which we have, is absent, what will happen? See, when I say delays in the production, that is because of breakdown in the machinery. Okay? No impact can be easily eliminated. It might lead to increased quality issues. Again, quality issues are because of the breakdown of the machinery. So when absenteeism is there, the people who are responsible for the machinery, for the handling of the machinery, if those people are not there, there will be delay in the repairing of the machinery breakdown. So there will be longer machinery breakdowns, hence the answer is option B. Moving ahead, question number 101. What could be a possible solution to address? Now we have figured out when the problem starts when lack of motivation is there. So my answer should also revolve around the solution which takes care of the human factor. Hence, answer is option B, that we need implement a motivation and job satisfaction program. And look at the question. What could be a possible solution? It means feasible, what can be done. Can you purchase a new machinery all of a sudden? No. Can we upgrade? Why we have to upgrade when the competitors are also using the same machinery and they have increased production? So I can't say that we need to upgrade the machinery to reduce breakdowns because the reason of the breakdowns was not given. Okay, so I can't assume that we need to upgrade the machinery. Moving ahead, 102. Based on the information provided, what is the potential consequences of increased customer complaint? I guess this is the easiest question of all. So what is the problem? It would lead to a loss of customers. I don't think so any explanation is required. Self-explanatory, very easy. Now, the last passage. The genre is contemporary, day in, day out problem, education system, and the problems related to the pressure by the parents on students, on children, and which leads to suicide. So, a contemporary problem is given. 103. Not likely leading to suicide. It means all the other factors lead to suicide. Okay, so let's figure out. Incorrect marketing strategies, yes, they lead to suicide. Burdening of ambitions, yes. Creating hostile in itself, this option is negative. Hence, all these three lead to suicide aspects, but option D is living in different background and culture. Just by living, because we all are living in different backgrounds and culture, that will not lead to suicide. Hence, option D is the answer. 104, not true regarding the education system. Read the question properly. What is not true regarding the education? So just recall the passage. Passage says, in the passage, author says that our education system revolves around merit. Everything boils down to merit. Okay. So what is not true about the education system is merit of the student is not the determining factor. This is incorrect as per the author, because that is the determining factor by our education system. Okay. Moving ahead, 105. Which of the following strengthens the argument regarding the idea of merit? Easy answer. The true merit is multifaceted. Whose viewpoint we have to consider? As per the above mentioned passage. So as per the passage, true merit is multifaceted. It will not be based on the scores given by our education system. 106. Which of the following is correct regarding the inequalities mentioned by the author? It means in all these aspects, inequalities are there. So let's figure out what is correct regarding inequalities. So there is no difference between preparation. There is a discrepancy between these two. Hence this option is eliminated. Competitive examination leads to social equality. No, leads to social inequality. My answer is option B. There are existing inequalities. Yes, in our system there are inequalities which are enlarged by the competitive examination. So this is amplified by these competitive examinations. Question number 107. Reflects the use of online platforms for education as per the author. So author was in favor of the technology. Hence, answer is option A. Why irrespective of caste and creed? Because towards the end of the passage, author talked about the marginal category also. Okay? Minorities, marginal category. Hence, I can say irrespective of the caste or creed. And the last question of logical reasoning, which of the following is not a challenge? That means 3 options are challenged. If I am solving logical reasoning, I would use some logic that rest of the 3 options are some problem and one is not a problem. Isn't this a positive thing? If the online resources are available, that is not a challenge, that is a boon, right? So if it is a boon, it is not a challenge, hence answer is option C. Right everyone, that's all from my side. This was Pravinu and I have a question. Let's go back to 105. So, what was the doubt? Why not option B strengthens the argument? Pervasive inequalities can only be identified with the help of single competitive examination. If I take this, it would weaken the argument because only one exam cannot define the merit. So this only is my problem, and it can only be solved with it actually goes against the author's opinion. Okay? So it is not strengthening, actually it is weakening. Right, everyone? That's all from my side. Pravino, thank you so much.
So, welcome back. I hope you had a very good roller coaster ride for the last couple of hours. You had key explained, solutions explained broadly. I know doing it like a class will actually enable us to do it for 3-4 hours, but we tried to wrap it up in 2 hours. So now I think now we arrive at the climax of the session. So we're actually going to talk about what could be the cutoffs for various NLUs, and accordingly what should be the cutoffs for top ranks, etc. I hope you're all excited along with me. So we have put together this analysis for you on that. So let's go. Right. So this is the first, just a quick summary. I think let's kind of, before we go into the cutoffs, let's quickly look at the sections. English section, ALP team is calling it an easy section. We believe most of the questions, out of the 24 questions, 21 questions were easy, 2 of them were medium, 1 was difficult. I think a good attempts would be 22, 23. And anything less is not acceptable. I'm saying, by the way, when I say good score, we're talking about top 3 NLUs. Okay, target is to get into top 3 NLUs. Yeah. Then I think GK is very rarely called easy. I think this time ALP team has called GK section also easy to medium, not difficult. And we have 23 easy questions, a couple of few difficult questions, but overall good attempts would be 25, 26 plus. And then we have legal. Legal also. This time the thing is, most of the sections are easy. That's what makes the overall paper very, very easy. And probably this is going to be an outlier in CLAT's history in terms of being an easy paper. Most of you felt so already, right? So legal also, I think 25 are easy questions, 5 medium and 2 difficult. Overall, I would say 30 attempts would have been made by someone who is targeting the top 3 NLUs, right? So let's now look at logical reasoning. Yeah, probably the only section that would take a little more, a bit of time taking, a bit of difficult choices, close choices, etc. By any stretch, I would still not call it a very difficult section. But the team, we believe it's a medium to difficult because not too many easy questions. There are many questions which had 2 close answers. In fact, as we are doing the analysis, we can see as Prabhinu was doing the analysis, a lot of you were asking in question number 96, why not this? In question number 103, why not this? That itself should tell you that there are a lot of close answers, right? That's why we don't believe it's an easy section. It's definitely medium to difficult section. Good attempts would be anything around 19-20. Okay, and then let's look at the quantitative aptitude. This is a pleasant surprise for most of the CLAT takers and ALPMs too, right? Even in our boot camp, we said QT is one section you not really worry about or think of, etc. And I remember very well, a lot of times when I talk about QT, people try to give up. But this time, I think the section was very important for you to kind of make it to top cut, because most of them were easy questions. In fact, if any good student should have attempted 10 questions in code QT for sure this time. Let's now come to, now that I completed this summary, this is something that you are all excited about. So this, we believe, out of the 5 sections, like today is an election day, a lot of results are coming up, a lot of media tells, we call this state for this party and stuff. Similarly, as ALP team, we kind of say English is an easy section, current affairs is easy, legal reasoning is easy, logical reasoning is medium to difficult, quant is easy. Overall, we believe anyone who is targeted to get into top 3 NLUs should target to attempt 109 plus. When I say 109 plus, the goal is to have a 80-85% accuracy. If someone has very good accuracy in that, probably a little low will do. Someone has, I think a lot of students have said they've attempted close to 120, close to 115, close to 100, based on your thing. But 109 would be a great attempt if you want to get into top 3 NLUs. Now let me actually present to you the thing that we're all waiting for. We're going to talk about rank wise, what score, what rank it would come to. I'm sure all of you would have already, now that you know the key from ALP, you would have corrected your paper, you would know how many you got right, how many you got wrong. I think now that I'll take a minute, I'm going to start the cutoffs. Meanwhile, can you all type? what score you got, what is your final score, based on the key that is given by ALP team today, right? So you can check accordingly, you'll know what rank you'll get. Okay, so this is my favorite thing, and as the founder of Abhyaas LawPrep, I get this privilege every year. I kind of have to predict cutoffs. When I take inputs from various people, it's but at the end of the day, my editorial right, I do this, and then what happens is I'm measured every year based on what final ranks turn out to be. I do reasonably well. I do most of the time I hit than this. So in this year, we are talking about cutoffs, and generally, I'm of that kind of person who believes that without taking risk, you cannot really, do well in life, right? Similarly, a lot of coaching centers, a lot of brands, desperate brands, do not want to take that risk. Talking about ranks, cutoffs, etc. That is going to kind of give the key and leave. We believe we'll do it because a lot of you, if you want to sleep well tonight, you want to have an idea of what you do. It might not be 100% accurate, and we are absolutely okay. We might go wrong sometimes, but we always believe on the D-Day, on the CLAT day, Abhyaas LawPrep will always reveal its cutoffs in spite of sometimes we going wrong. In fact, last 12 or 13 years of our existence, I think there were one or two times where we felt we had to correct the cutoffs after the key came out. There are too many errata, etc. But most of the times we're always close to the bullseye. Okay, so let's, without much ado, I hope some of you are typing your scores, what kind of score you're getting, 80, 60, 70, 90, 100, I don't know. But whatever score you're getting, I hope you have calculated your scores. Let me now present to you my ranking algorithm, ranking cutoffs for this year, right? Let's look at this carefully. These are the, if you kind of look at it carefully, when I say A, it means actual, that is ranks. I put, if you can look at the table carefully, this is a very important table. Rank 1, rank 10, rank 50, 100, so on up to 5,000. Why did I put it up to 5,000? Why not? You can go up to any number. In fact, anyone who wants to know rank beyond 5,000, please scan our QR code. You can get into our ALP rank predictor, you will get every detail. But for now, we believe by the time fourth list comes and stuff like that, generally anyone who is in the top 5,000 has a good chance of making it to an NLU. In the first list, I believe anyone up to 1,300, 1,500 will make it. But by the time fourth list comes out, vacancies, etc., all of you in the 5,000 will make it. That's why we give it 5,000 only, rank 1 to rank 5,000. And if you see the columns here, very important, you can make a note, you can check. We have A, 2020 actuals, 21 actuals, 22 actuals, 23 actuals. 23 actuals, unlike other years where the rank-wise scores were released, this time it was not released. So we had to kind of assess it from our students' marks and stuff. So that's why we have put an approximate. And finally, the actual, the thing that I call, this is the most important part of today's session, that thing that you're actually waiting for. I believe for what rank, what kind of score would come. And I would say we would have added a little on the higher side at few places, particularly at the top. But I believe this is going to be a good target if you can get there. And like I said, 2020 was an abnormal year because it was a little sudden surprise, and hence you see the top score and the general. You see from first rank to next rank, there's a huge drop, right? Otherwise, 21, 22 also were very, very similar, right? You see, a lot of them were same scores. Again, 23 was a little, scores came down a little. 24, because the paper actually was easy, paper was simpler, paper was less number of questions, more time, lot of these reasons, I believe the scores will be very high. While we believe All India rank could be somewhere around 110 plus. Okay, someone will be scoring 110 plus All India first rank is what we believe. But yeah, if you want to be in the top 10 in the country, somewhere 104, 103, you might get into top 10. And then you are targeting 50th rank, you want to be the top 50, top 100, 94, 90. So if you get a 90 plus score, I think we are putting our neck out there and say you will be in the top 100 of the country. If you're getting a 90 plus score, we are saying you're in the top 100 of the country. That's something that might look, for a lot of people, it will say incredible. Hey, paper was too easy. How can it be 90? Trust me, I told you already. It is not easy. You might have great number of attempts, but accuracy in any exam, it's not easy. So those who have attempted all 120, got 100 right, I think you'll still be making 95. So you have to understand that's why we believe a 90 score, top 100 will make it, right? So similarly, 200, you 86 marks, and so on, so on, so on. And I think we believe somewhere around 65 plus will be the first list. If you are in 60, 65 plus first list, you'll get an LU. But by the time you get, if you are getting a 50 plus, right, I think you have a chance to get into an NLU for sure by the end of fourth list and vacant seats also. So this is one thing that I want to kind of share with you today. You've all been waiting with me, and now I have something more interesting. Now that I've shared rank algorithm, rank matrix, let me share another interesting thing, right? Let me kind of share with you the next thing that I believe. Yeah. Now this is very interesting because this we have started few years back. A lot of students ask, okay, sir, rank wise, but what about NLU wise, right? What about NLU? So we put all the 24 NLUs out there and we said, hey, if you have to get this NLU in the first list, you should be scoring this much. Okay. So we said, hey, by the way, NLU Bangalore has increased a lot of seats and stuff like that. Wait for a week or so. I think let the key get released, errata kind of get done, and we're actually going to come out with a lot more detailed document about what would be the closing rank and closing mark of each NLU for the last. We'll give a very good track record for 4 years. Today, on the first cut, I'm giving you a fundamental idea, basic idea for you to know what we believe would be a range, score range for you to kind of crack this particular NLU. Rank number 1, NLSU Bangalore, we believe you're scoring 90 plus, you will be getting to NLSU Bangalore. And Nalsar, if you want to get into all this, by the way, I'm talking about general, all India quota. We're not talking about state level domiciles and stuff like that. That we can do further some other day. But yeah, Nalsar, Hyderabad, around 86. Kolkata 81 and Bhopal, Jodhpur, I think you should be, if you get a 87, I think that would be good. JNLU Gandhinagar up to then 78 marks. It's very important to note. I think these top 5 NLUs, someone is asking, I think one of the questions in the comments was this. So I think if you are scoring near to the 78 plus, I think you are definitely in the top 5, top 6 NLUs, right? Then I think, and then onwards, from 6 to 10, I think your score could fall down somewhere between that 77 to 68, 70. I think you are in the next top 5 to top 10 NLUs. I think now let me go to the second rung NLUs. Second rung NLUs, I think you can score, if you're scoring Patna, you can probably kind of get to Patna if you're scoring a 67 plus. And we believe by the end, in the first list, by the way, this number is for the first list. We believe by the time 4th list comes out, by the time vacant list comes out, the score will come down further. But if you're scoring a 60 or so, 60 plus in this exam, the reasoning exam, I think there's a great chance of you making it to at least one of the NLUs in the first list. So this is where we end the session for today. And we really enjoyed, me and my team, we enjoyed bringing the session together to you. I know we started a little late, but thank you for hanging on with you. And a lot more of you will probably benefit from this coverage from us. And we look forward to kind of meeting you more often in many different ways. And wish you the very, very best with this. So that's it. Naresh sir and ALP team signing off.